One guy wrote "All Dick No Brains." She wrote "Cody Smith, who cares? Nice package." And then she wrote "Ha ha, he looks like he's the one blessed."
Can't with old women like that. I mean, yes, I'm old. Shut up. What'd you say? She's probably 10 years older than me.
Yeah, that's it.
Is somebody you went to school with?
You didn't know who it is.
You should roll.
Where do I need this?
Wherever you like it.
You can pull it back a little bit more.
See, I don't want to be all up in it. Oh, woosah. I told Jeff this was their DEI quota for the year.
What?
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Yeah. Wondered where you were going to go with that introduction.
What'd you think I was going to say?
I didn't know. The world was your oyster.
You could have said the world famous Michelle Stanfield.
Oh, it's got to be Andy first.
She's not world famous, though.
No, not at all.
She's just locally known.
Not city
She's
famous.
Big Honker famous.
Well, she is, and so are you.
Could be famous.
With us today are the ladies, or two of the ladies from the lodge. Jessy, my daughter-in-law,
Thank
and
you.
my wife, Michelle.
So you don't get in trouble.
Michelle's wearing her young girl breeches today.
Oh, my
They're
Valentine
cute.
pants
They're
that were
cute.
lost in limbo.
Oh, you didn't get to wear them on Valentine's Day.
And they're free people, so
Dang it.
they're pretty pricey, but that's all right.
What's free people?
I finally got
It's the brand.
Oh. Not made by
It was
free
in
people,
the-
probably.
It was in the
Probably made by a bunch of slaves in Indonesia or something.
Yeah.
probably so.
You should start thinking about that.
I'm not going to.
Is it freely sourced?
We didn't get to go to Turkey because of mechanical issues,
Thank God, I guess.
Instead, you got to hang out in the airport all day long.
and then come home with the flu for 4 or 5 days. So I'm glad I did make it to
But
Nashville
yeah, that's
for
what
that
I was
reason.
going to say.
But,
You would have been miserable.
oh, but
We got Papado.
well, we can go to Papa. We can go to Papado tonight.
You got more than a whiskey and a hot dog.
I did. I didn't
got
even have a whiskey.
dried up stale sprinkles cupcake from the little vending machine, but it was just stale probably by the time I ate it.
Your
They
hu-
had one in the vending machine in the airport?
Yeah, they've
I
got
didn't know they had
sprinkles.
sprinkles in there. That's cool.
Your husband had the best attitude of all about it, and I'd
Good.
forgot about the Denver trip. But when I talked to Dirk on the phone, and Dirk says, "Y'all just go back home, Jeff." He goes, "We got this covered," because we weren't going to get there till Friday sometime.
Yeah.
And I said, Andy's eyes was like, "Sounds good to me." Michelle was thinking about all the socializing she missed out on,
It was
Was it
Andy.
was?
Andy
And-
came home and was like, we missed out
I
on a
know.
lot.
Like Andy
Yeah.
had to see the snaps of Blake's bachelor party. We had to see the stories and stuff. And I was like, oh,
I just stayed off my
hate
phone
you
all week.
people.
You
Yep.
missed getting to go backstage at Cody Johnson and meet Luke Combs because Jack Zimmerman's got a
Okay,
picture of him
I
and Cody
know.
together.
You told me that. I know.
And that's
Oh, well. Yeah,
that-
don't rub it in her face.
No, just let it go.
That probably was
didn't
just
happen.
that was just probably an invite for Jack only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack couldn't take friends.
Jack's
Can't-
a hero,
can't
so.
take-
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can't take anybody.
well, Jack sent me a text.
He
No.
Well,
Jeff's
we
probably
didn't have
lying.
to talk
Jeff's
about
lying.
that. Yeah.
Jeff's got his lying eyes.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
he's got his
I don't
lights
have a clue,
You wouldn't have.
but
We're
no-
just going to say
It didn't
it
happen.
wouldn't have happened.
I'm going to
for
say
you.
the concert was canceled too.
yeah, there you go.
Yep.
The
But-
concert.
I wasn't going, so
He just said, listen.
I'm not worried about it.
Those Texas people can't be here, so we're just canceling the whole venue.
Yep.
It's just they can't. What?
Yeah, that does that.
Call me Blake.
Chairs roll back.
If Blake
things-
Poppy sits in a chair, it's not any good
Well,
at
it
all.
looks like it's
No,
supposed
it's
to
designed to
do
do that.
No, did Blake
for
Waller that
tattoos
one out,
and
or is that a
stuff.
new one?
No, it's
No, those are just two new ones.
Oh, so Blake hasn't wore them out yet.
Heavy
There-
duty.
This is comfy.
I got
very
them for
comfy.
big people. That's got a 500-pound weight limit
Okay.
because
We could sit 3 people on my
Blake
lap.
will wear that
well, I got
shit out.
tired of buying chairs every
Yeah.
year. Like
now I'm rolling.
we'd spend $200 on chairs every year.
Yeah.
Every year. It's like just get a big boy chair and be done with it.
We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah, we will. Blake sat in it a couple times. He hadn't broken it yet, so
Did he roll back? Did he have that issue?
I don't think so.
He did
I
little
think
blocks.
He wallers out the wall,
No, I'm
though.
talking about how we're rolling back.
I love Blake
I wonder if
a lot.
I'm good now.
But Blake-
Now that I let it roll to where it needed to roll.
John Deere probably does a study of Blake's ass in a tractor about how he wallers out chairs. I'm serious. And there's some big ass farmers out there. It's not that Blake's bigger than most of them. He just wallers shit out.
He moves a lot.
Yeah,
He's
that's what I was going to say. He can't
Breaks the
stay
padding
still.
down.
He's an aggressive sitter.
Yeah.
I mean, even in our electric
I know.
furniture at the house, it's up and down, up and down. I'm doing ab workouts.
Working my abs.
He's not a. Well, I was about to say he's not a sitter, but I mean, that is his job.
Yeah. Have you guys, we're going to get into all kinds of stuff, but have y'all watched Landman? Have y'all started it yet?
No, we were
You
behind.
can't watch it
We
with the
started
kids.
watching Night Agent like 2 years ago.
Yeah, when it first came out.
And I kept asking Andy, I was like, did we finish that? And he was like, yeah, I think we finished that. So we just kept going and kept going. And the other day I was like, okay, let's go make sure we finish that because I don't remember. And no, we hadn't. There's 2 seasons. We were like halfway through the first season. So we finished the first one, 2 nights ago?
Yep.
And then yesterday we watched the Gabby Petito thing.
Is that any good?
I mean, like we already kind of all knew
So that's why
what had
I don't like
happened.
shows like that.
So, I think since we already kind of knew all of it, I guess it dove a little deeper than what we actually did know.
The cops got a bad rap on the deal. The cops that pulled him over in Utah.
The ones that didn't do anything,
They
supposedly.
did do something.
But
They
that-
separated them.
That's all they can do. You're exactly right.
And like so they get a 911 call. A guy says, "Hey, I just saw a guy slapping a woman, forcing her in a white van." They pull him over. In the course of the investigation, Gabby even says that I was the primary aggressor. I hit him first, and she basically says that he was just trying to keep me from hitting him. And they pull Brian out of the car. He's got marks all over his face where he's bleeding. And the investigation determines that she was the primary aggressor.
They should take her in.
But that's what they said. They said, we've got enough to go the whole way with domestic abuse. We can throw the book at them. They're young. Let's just separate them. We'll take him to a hotel because he's the victim here. So he's going to go to a hotel. She can go. She can take the van. She's free to go. She can go to the campground and they can just cool off overnight. But that wasn't the night that she died anyway. They went another 8 or 10 days on the road.
No. But the other part of it is if you watch the body language and if you watch how they're talking to him, like at first he's like super nervous.
Of course he was nervous.
No, it's like you can tell that he is the one that should be in trouble.
Why?
She looks, I'm about to say, don't people who get abused, aren't they mentally warped? Their mental state, and like
Wow.
you could tell.
Woo.
Is
You're
this not
pissing some
true?
people off.
She's
Is this
saying,
not true?
like, she's probably like, I'm going to get my ass beat worse, so I'm going to say I did it.
If you watch her body language, like she's
I know
she's
what you're saying.
terrified.
What should they have done then?
And so here's my part of it. You can look at it his way, and I'm not saying his way is not right, but I'm saying look at it at the other part. She doesn't know what he's saying to the cops.
Right.
She doesn't know what
He
he's
doesn't
saying.
know what she's saying.
Exactly.
He's
So-
probably
so
already
she-
coached her into
so
always
and
saying,
she
"You
was
did this
anxious
first."
because she like that's her even though maybe she was in an abusive relationship, we don't know that, but if she is,
I'm gonna say she probably was in an abusive
exactly
relationship.
so she's so freaking warped that like that's her
Stability.
stability. You know, she at the end of the interview she's like, don't take me away from him,
Right.
don't take me away from
I don't
him,
know what
because
I'll
that's
do.
like, yeah, she doesn't know what she's going to do because maybe he's broken her down enough that she thinks
sure that did happen.
That she thinks he is her only way.
She
I'm not-
can't make it without
And so
him.
she's not going to tell the cops.
Okay.
Right.
He's beating me.
I understand all that, but what should the cops have done differently? That would have changed the outcome.
I don't say they should have done anything differently. I'm saying they let him off the hook really good because
He's
we
the
saw
victim. He's got marks on his face. They
did
don't
too.
care about.
She had marks too.
She had a little scratch and she had a bump on her
she had
shoulder.
A big
They've
red
been married
mark.
a long time,
She
you
had
can
a
tell.
big red mark on her face.
she didn't.
Yes, she did.
She didn't. She didn't have the claw marks like
No,
he did.
but
She drew blood on him.
She also has long nails and he doesn't.
And
I
a
mean,
cell
she
phone.
was fighting herself back.
and she did
we don't
screw
know.
up if she said, I started it.
She she
just-
never said she started
no,
it.
she said he was trying to calm me down. And that's what Brian said. Brian said she came at me with
But-
her cell phone in her hand, swinging at me, and I was trying to get her back in the van.
With this fist.
Anyways, we don't know.
Here's what's not ironic.
Sad.
Just but here's what goes on. I used to have this all the time in town with people. Why don't y'all take them off the street? They're bad people. They're walking around. They sell drugs. They walk around. You can't arrest people for just because you know that they're doing something wrong. You have to have some evidence against it. And I used to tell people do that all the time. We used to have a guy walk around town all the time that sold dope in Knox City. Everybody knew he did it, and everybody would bitch all the time at me when I was mayor. Well, y'all got to get him off the street. Could you imagine us just arresting someone because they're a shitty person?
Yeah.
You can't do that crap.
Or because I saw him sell drugs out of that little.
Well, no, not even that.
No,
I mean,
I'm saying because I saw it and I went into the city hall and said, "All right, I just saw this."
Yeah, I mean, you just can't
Y'all
arrest
still
people.
gotta
Well, no, but I mean,
catch
if
'em.
you saw them, that'd be a little bit even more different. That people just know that they're bad people. You just can't arrest people because you think they're doing something wrong. You have to have evidence.
Yeah.
They should have arrested both of them
'em.
for domestic abuse, like
But
they do
it
in a lot
still
of
wouldn't
places.
have changed
It's a
anything. They
disgrace.
still
No,
would have
they'd
gone
have
back
gotten
to
out.
each other a week later.
Probably.
Beat the hell out
I'm
of
not
each other
saying,
again.
I'm saying if you watch the interview when they go back to him and they're just blatantly like, you're
can pull it
the
up.
abused, like, and then his demeanor just totally changed.
Like,
he's
yes.
laughing about it, and
I'm off.
he's like, oh, these are my buddies. Like, if you watch the way he
Switch.
handles himself after that, it looks like
Oh,
he
there's no
probably
doubt.
definitely
The guy killed her. He's a piece of shit. But it happens all the time, and it's a sad, sad, sad
and he
situation.
manipulated her.
And
I'm sure.
broke her down for years.
Yes.
They were together for
and
years.
Probably did tell her, "You're never gonna make it without
Yeah.
me. You know, you're gonna starve to death. Nobody else is gonna want you."
It's a bad situation, but you can't arrest people unless you have evidence against it, and that's the sad deal of the thing is. But when she had hit on him, they should have arrested both of them.
Well,
is what
like
they
we
should have
said,
done.
even if they would have arrested him, unless
Probably
you're
with the same
arresting them
outcome.
for
That went on a
years,
week later.
Yeah, I mean, unless
Or he killed her a week
you're locking them up for years, it's going to happen again.
Oh yeah.
The sad thing is we've got a lot of sick bastards in this world. That's a sad deal. I don't want to watch this. This just breaks my heart. for
Ito
this poor
in
girl.
tears on the day she and her fiance got into a nasty argument.
We've just been fighting all morning.
The police body cam video is a poignant contrast to the beaming Gabby we've seen in videos shot during her cross-country road trip with Brian Laundrie. The just-released police video was taken August 12th. Cops pulled the couple's van over outside Arches National Park in Utah after a witness reported them arguing at a grocery store and called 911.
What's your guys' names?
Gabby,
Gabby, Brian? Okay. What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm sorry. We've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
The officer asked Gabby to step out and she explains what's going on.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country. And I'm trying to start a blog. I just have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed.
Then Laundrie is questioned.
Tell me what's going on.
She just gets worked up sometimes.
Gabby told police she has OCD. She said she was afraid Laundrie was going to drive off and leave her stranded at the grocery store. She apparently
happened
scratched
before.
him during the back and forth scuffle.
You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had her cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away.
On the day they were pulled over, Gabby and her
It's
fiance.
not going to show the.
Well,
It's
even
going to have his.
I
him
remember
talking.
whenever I watched like the tiny clips before, it didn't even show you like what we saw in the documentary yesterday. He's struggling to come up with the right words, you just have to watch
Where
his
did she
demeanor
get
and,
killed at?
Teton National Parks, right?
Bingo. Happens all the time.
Yeah.
You do not go to national parks. That's
Bear bait.
I'm telling you,
Well, that's
it's
what
the murder
they,
capital of the
they were
world
living
or
their
national
life
parks.
as van travelers.
Yep.
She got to post one video. Is all.
If you're with a guy and you've been with him just a short amount of time or a couple years, and he says, "Hey, let's go to a national park," he's going to kill you. Don't do it.
I think it was her fault.
was her
Her fault. Yeah, it was her
She was a
idea to
travel
be traveling.
blogger and-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's-
was,
all
it was
her
her
fault.
idea. But
National
She just
parks.
picked the wrong psycho to
to
tangle
do
up
it
with.
with.
Well,
That's sad.
I love to travel.
Yeah,
And
you're the one pushing for Yellowstone.
I want to
next
take
year
all the
with
grandkids to Yellowstone.
You're gonna get a van.
And we're going to get a chest
We've
to the
done
molester
the
van.
van.
We have to because all the people. But that's a bad place to go for couples.
Y'all just keep up with me if I, because I wander anyway. and
The
get
people that
lost.
they should look at. So Brian kills her. We think we don't.
No, he said he did.
He
In
said
his
he did,
suicide
but
note,
he said
she fell.
she fell crossing the river and he put her out of her misery. So he killed her.
yeah. And
Wow.
then it shows later the family goes back and visits where they found the body, and it shows the whole scenery, and it's like, what could she have fallen on that hit her head?
She had her cell phone in her hand, and he
So
was
beat her,
scared.
he
and-
bludgeoned her to death?
No,
strangled her?
Well, yeah, the autopsy showed. No, it said got hit in the head and then
strangulation.
strangled.
What a worthless piece of shit.
But in his suicide note, he writes that she was dying, and
So he
she
offed
was
himself in the
begging.
woods too?
yeah,
Yes, in Florida. So
like months later,
he comes home. He calls his parents, and
the same day.
So a bit of a conscience.
they have like he calls his mom. They talk for like an hour. Calls his dad. They talk for 30 minutes because he's driving from the national park back to Florida, and then his parents
Call an
a
attorney.
lawyer in Wyoming, wire him a $25,000 payment. So, but when the cops in Florida, because Gabby's parents don't know where to go because something I can't remember the law.
They
You can't report a missing persons. You can't
In an
report
area that's not your
that they
homestead.
don't live. So
Yeah.
they had to call Florida to report the missing persons. And like New York and Florida are talking back and forth. The detective in New York is talking to the people in Florida, and they're like, I don't know what you want us to do here. Like it happened in Wyoming, but it's a whole thing with the law. So they go to the Laundrie parents and they say, hey, like we need to talk to you. They say, we're not talking to anybody. We've got a lawyer. Here's his card. They said, okay, can we talk to Brian? And he said, well, he's here, but he's not talking to anybody. And they said, what about Gabby? And they said, she's not here. We're done talking to you. You need to talk to anybody else. Talk to our lawyer.
Oh, but he'd also told him he'd gotten a flight home.
Yeah,
He
and the
flew home,
but the van was there.
but the van was there.
But so the parents should be in trouble for something because they covered up a murder.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they sent a man $25,000 for nothing. It never even
Right.
no trial, nothing.
One, yeah.
I'd have
was
a
it
hard-
really to an
I would have
attorney?
a hard time not doing a personal visit with the dad as a dad of the daughter. That
They
would
filed a civil lawsuit and won.
I wouldn't care about no fucking civil lawsuit.
But so, and that's the other thing that's weird. So Brian leaves. The cops are surveilling the house. Somehow they mistake Brian for his mom. He leaves, goes to camp, and then he shoots himself. And then there's this big manhunt in some forest in Florida. They go on for that for like 6 weeks. They can't find Brian, and then so they had a bad flood, so they closed the park down. And then when they open the park back up 6 weeks later, the parents go looking for him, and they find his body an hour later.
like
Yes,
what
they
they
knew
say,
exactly
like
where
a
he
mile
was.
from
A
where
mile
they
from his
where
car.
they found the car.
So a lot of people are thinking that maybe they planted.
The body.
One thing that I had heard, so his body had decomposed. It was just skeletal remains. He was in the swamp in Florida.
Humidity
But
and heat.
nothing ate him.
Yeah, no. So it's just skeletal remains. But one thing that I had seen on TikTok was that the dentist that pulled his teeth record that they were able to identify him was a friend of the Laundrie family. So I don't know. So maybe he's still alive.
That's what I
and
was
they
gonna
paid
say.
off a dentist to say, yeah, that's
That's
Brian.
where that 25,000 went.
So they killed somebody else and put him out there.
I don't know.
Ooh,
That's just what TikTok's saying. Because they're saying, how ironic is it that
right.
the remains are found a mile from the car,
Perfectly intact.
But nobody
but
found that
in 6
at the
weeks
beginning.
there's this big manhunt, and they didn't. That's not where they started their
Yeah.
search. They didn't start
Right.
out by the car and branch out.
Yeah,
And
a
'cause you
5 mile
said
radius all the
they
way
had a
around from the
flood?
car.
Your two little boys are the most treasured things in your life. Could you imagine them
No.
killing someone and then
And
you covering
cover-
it up?
no.
I just cannot imagine that. I'd be so hurt and disappointed, but you can't.
His mom even wrote him a note that said burn after reading, and it said
He obviously didn't do that.
it said something like
Maybe he never read it.
if you need to hide a body,
I would show up with a
I'll
trash
show
bag
up with a trash bag
and a shovel.
and a shovel.
Parents, I don't get that. I don't.
And we wonder why he was thrown off.
But he was a nerd, and Gabby was good looking, so I'm sure that he thought that, if she ever gets away, whatever. Because I
Right.
think that
I'll never
they got
find
together in
another.
high school, and she was into art, and she met Brian in art, so I'm thinking Brian's probably a nerd.
I thought one of the other girls said his crowd was kind of the cooler crowd.
In the art crowd.
It's like being a queen of the nerd herd.
Right. Yeah, he was the cool kid in the art.
kid
Yeah.
in the chest.
Yeah, right.
The Dungeons and
Department.
Dragons hottie.
Yeah. So I'm sure he thought, if she ever gets away, I can't let this one get away. And I'm sure it was a very abusive relationship.
Sounds like it was volatile.
But
to say the
I don't
least.
think that the cops in Utah, back to our original point, arresting them
They did
would
their
not have
job.
stopped, would not have changed the outcome any.
No,
They
Maybe
did their
back
job.
together.
I think the only thing, and maybe that's why they get the flack, is they just like shifted really, really quick to just say, "Oh, you are the one being abused." Like from the video, they just shifted real quick to believe someone like her that looked torn down, scared, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, you are the bad guy."
I guess maybe if they're arrested, maybe the parents back home realize something's going on, so maybe they would have got her out of that situation. I don't know.
And
But
your
that's the only
taste in
thing.
women, Andy, I'm really, outside of Jesse, I'm starting to really question you because we're watching this landman and this chick that you think was so hot back in the day. What's her
Darcy?
name?
Old.
Oh yeah, she was. She was the hottie
old,
in
Jeff.
Varsity Blues.
She was the hottie in Varsity Blues.
I'm not talking about she wasn't a hottie at one time.
She's still
she is a freaking.
very.
I don't
she's
think
beautiful.
so. See, I don't
She is
think
still-
so.
beautiful.
She is still beautiful.
Not
I've
now.
not seen Landman.
she's
I'm just going off of
old.
what I
Yeah.
saw in
No,
Varsity.
no, but you
Blues.
talk. But every time I see,
look up a picture of
She's
her. off of
old,
Landman.
and then pull up Demi Moore back in the day and pull
Yeah,
her up
she
now.
looks
You're gonna
bad.
go woof.
She's got
probably
fish lips.
Too much.
Everyone
too
thought
much work
she was
done.
hot.
Yeah.
But could you
now she's
imagine?
not.
Could you imagine being in the limelight and being the hottie of your time,
Yeah.
and then getting older?
Yep,
Like
and now have to
they're-
be
they're
the
I'm not
chasing
talking
that.
about her being old. There's a
Yeah.
lot of beautiful old ladies.
I know,
she
but
just comes.
I'm just saying,
She's
most
so pretty.
I don't think so.
And I like because they're not trying to like cover. Maybe they're just doing a terrible job of it.
Maybe
But
it's-
like the bags under her eyes are kind of there and stuff.
Maybe it's because I see people.
You're a judgmental son of a bitch.
Well, I am a judgmental son of a bitch.
Well, that's
but her
fuzzy.
her character is
Now,
what
her character
is
gets
what
on my
just-
damn nerves.
Is what I don't like.
I mean, when they show her, I just cringe. She's way over the top, just disgusting.
What is her name?
Allie Larder.
Okay.
But see, yeah, she's pretty.
See, I don't remember her from Varsity Blues because I don't. I guess I know I saw it, and she was the Cool Whip chick. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember what she looked like back then. I guess.
It is funny though, because when me and Andy are watching shows, I'll be like, "Do you think so and so is pretty, or do you think?" And we have totally different taste in who. Usually, he's like, "She's pretty," and I'm like, "No, she's pretty," and he's like, "No, she is not pretty at all."
Demi Moore used to be a really good-looking lady.
Yes, everyone
a really
loved her.
good-looking lady, and
And then
she's
she
like all
started
these
having
older.
too much work
they
done.
all they
I
all do
know.
that, and
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I told Andy, I remember back, I don't know, 10 or so years ago when I started watching Real Housewives. I don't watch it much anymore, but I can remember thinking some of those ladies looked old to me. But the other day I was like, oh my gosh, so-and-so, I wonder how old she actually was when they were filming her. And she was younger than me. And I thought she looked old. Well, it's because all of those housewives are plastic. You know,
Right.
they get so much work done. To me, they look older. You know, if you're getting work done when you're 30 years old and you don't need it.
What's the show that's a spinoff of Young Sheldon that they've got now? There's a spinoff with the older brother is married to the girl that's a little older than him, and they have a baby together. And there's a grandma on there that's on Young Sheldon, the grandma. And I was thinking, well, that's a pretty older lady. Well, it's Annie Potts. They used to be on Designing Women,
Right.
and she's a pretty lady. Annie Potts and she was a pretty lady, but for a grandma, I was like, wow, she's pretty good looking for a grandma.
Oh, she's in Landman too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was a good looking lady when she was younger.
She was like the hot ticket.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Imagine being that and then trying to keep up with that, the pressure of that your whole
70,
life.
She's 70 years old.
Now,
Demi Moore is?
She's got to be.
she has to be. We're
Look up how old she is.
I mean, she's probably not-
I'm fixing to be 57 next week. She's got to be 65 to 70.
62.
Oh, well, never mind then.
so you had
And
her
you're going to be
dying.
how old?
57. She's only 5 years older than me. Boy, I'm
Yeah.
an underachiever in my life. That makes you realize it. What's wrong? Why are you looking at me like that?
Was she popular before striptease?
Yeah, she was. She was in that show, St. Elmo's Fire,
Yeah.
and something else. Why'd you look at me like I was an underachiever? I haven't done much in my life. She's only
Oh,
5
okay,
years.
I thought you meant in your choice of women or something.
Well, if I'm comparing you to Demi Moore, I mean, she brought a lot more to the table financially. Yes,
Michelle took that a different way.
Yeah.
So did Billy Bob Thornton.
I'm telling you right now, there's anybody that's thinking they're thinking the same thing about you, though. They'd be like, "Well, Michelle could have sure done a whole lot better than Jeff Stanfield." She was in Indecent Proposal. She was good. She was in? I think St. Elmo's Fire is the first time I seen her.
I don't remember. her. I don't know.
I honestly don't think I've seen many
Was she
movies
in?
with her.
Was she in?
Top?
G.I. Jane.
Not top. Yeah, yeah.
I knew that.
But then something
What was her first
Was she in
big
Breakfast
movie?
Club?
I'm trying to find.
That was Ali Sheedy that was in that. Her first big movie was St. Elmo's Fire. I
I bet a
think.
lot of people sure were mad when she shaved her head.
Oh my gosh. No, then
No, she
people
was
started
sexy.
thinking that was hot.
She was hottie in that.
Is that why Britney Spears shaved her head?
It didn't work.
Blame It on Rio is the first one I remember her in, and then St. Elmo's Fire. About Last
wanna
Night is
see-
About last night.
About
was
Last
good.
Night is excellent.
I've never seen any of those.
That's what I'm like. I don't think I've really
course, Ghost.
seen.
Ghost was big.
Yeah.
I
I'm going to
haven't- I
say
haven't
Ghost was
seen
her
that.
biggest. You've not seen
No,
Ghost.
I don't think I've seen.
Nothing but trouble.
Blame It on Rio was big. St. Elmo's Fire was kind of like your. It was just it was a teen movie, you know, with everybody kind of like 16 Candles
Footloose.
and stuff.
So which one of those is the biggest one you remember? Like
I would say
the
Ghost.
moment.
That is the funniest show ever with James Belushi in there. There's a scene in it where this guy's James Belushi's at a bar and he's talking to some chick and he goes, "Do you know anything about boxing?" She goes, "No." He goes, "I'm the heavyweight champion of the world."
See, I thought striptease was the one that she.
That was big.
She
God.
was
Was
probably
Way down
pretty.
there, though. But
That's what I'm saying. She had a whole bunch
Oh.
before then. So what one was it? Ghost, probably her biggest one of all these.
Indecent Proposal
In the-
with Robert Redford was huge.
Yeah.
Where's that
But
one?
was it
Oh,
for
that's
her?
later.
Yeah. Oh, her first big movie was St. Elmo's Fire
St.
was
Elmo's
huge.
Fire was big.
Blame It on Rio was a good show, but St. Elmo's Fire was a really big show. And then About Last Night was really big.
Probably Ghost or
I'd
any
say-
of those. So
Ghost was Patrick Swayze. and-
mid 80s to early 90s, she got on the scene.
Big.
She was in A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and
That was a good one.
What's the black chick that's the doc that's on The View? She was in
Whoopee.
Ghost, wasn't she?
Whoopi was.
Yeah, was it
Oh.
Whoopi in Ghost?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
I cannot
she was
believe
the
Ted
medium.
Danson ever dated her. Ugh, motherfucker's got some.
I've never
he's got
even.
bad
Have you
cataracts.
seen G.I. Jane?
Yeah,
Austin
great
Powers.
show.
Okay, I've seen Austin Powers. Oh, did that say what's above that? Go.
Beavis
Oh.
and Butthead.
I probably watched that.
She was
Her
in
biggest thing she ever did was she married Bruce Willis after all this.
I wonder
I've seen
what.
The Hunchback
Oh, no,
of
she
Notre
was.
Dame.
I think she was just a producer in Austin Powers.
Oh, okay.
G.I. Jane is a good show.
Charlie's Angels is probably the first thing I remember her in.
She was with the hot blonde in that. What's her name?
Cameron Diaz,
Yeah, Cameron Diaz.
Mr. Brooks. That was a good show.
I mean, she
Isn't
was
it-
one of those gals that made a little bit of money. And
Little
she was
bit.
she was pretty hot when G.I. Jane came out and stuff. She was a good looking lady.
I used to think Cameron Diaz was pretty.
Yeah.
She is not
Natural looking.
anymore.
No.
No.
Anyways, I like
Father Time.
Demi Moore. So let's talk. We'll go talk Mexico, then we'll go to hunting season. So we just got back from Mexico. Actually, my favorite resort we've stayed
Yeah,
at
that's
since our
what
groups.
Andy
That
and
was a
I
good
said. That was really good.
And we stayed at the Hyatt Ziva in Puerto Vallarta, and I really liked it. I was not excited because I thought it was going to be a big one like Planet Hollywood. I hated
It was
Planet Hollywood.
almost perfect.
yeah, it
So
really was.
It was
perfect.
a small. The pool.
Small enough. I wouldn't call it small.
No, but it wasn't.
small
It
enough.
wasn't
Loved
huge.
The amount
though.
of pools they had.
Had 5 pools.
I think we hit every. Oh no, we didn't even hit every one of them.
There was
they
that
had more
kid
than
one by
5.
our room. There was the kid one by our room. There was the swim up. Then there was that. That one was like one because you could swim under the bridge.
Oh,
We didn't ever swim in that one. That's the one we tried to get in the first day.
it was so cold.
Yeah. So that was 1. So that was 3.
The water was cold.
Stacy Coker told me, he goes, "Y'all saw whales?" I said, "Oh yeah." I said, "It was crazy." I said, "They were just 300-400 yards off of the one of the restaurants we ate at there." I'd been to Puerto Vallarta many times, and me and Michelle went a couple of years ago. When I was younger, we used to go every year. And it was a different experience because I was in college. We didn't have no money, and we stayed at the resort and did all the food eating and drinking and stuff. But the restaurants were very good at this place.
We didn't ever hit Italian,
We went
but-
one night. One day we went to town and we ate lunch. And then we come back and had dinner that night. The food was excellent.
I liked the food
The
better
s-
at the resort than where
food was
when we
good.
had lunch that one day in Puerto Vallarta.
The resort was probably my favorite. I liked it a lot.
And the airport's
And
easy to get
so-
in and out of compared to Cancun. I like Isla a lot, and I will go back to Isla again.
Supposedly
But
they're
I do
having
not
lots
like-
of hustler troubles,
Like-
like credit card problems.
Really?
People breaking into rooms. One of the other places there, that Privileges place in Isla, someone broke in and got all the codes to all the safes and got money out.
Full passports.
I told Andy there's a place we're going to in Costa Rica this summer, and I'm on the page, and everybody talks about having money stolen out of their safes at this place. So we're not going to be taking much cash.
There's a deal that you can buy that someone showed that you can put on your safe where people can't get into it.
Really?
Yes, and
because
Like an
people were
override.
talking about doing a travel safe, but I'm like, somebody could just pick up your travel safe.
No, this is
and take it
the whole
somewhere.
safe.
this hooks onto the safe that's in the
Save your safe.
It's your own
Wonder what it
safety
is.
code, like
Because
a code with the
the
like a
thing
backup.
that I've seen, like, people weren't stealing a ton. You know, they may
Enough here
steal,
and there.
you know, some 20s here.
No, they
and-
wiped out these people's rooms at this
Jeff
place.
said some people their passports.
They stole passports, everything.
Why would somebody steal your passport?
Think
I've
about
never
that right
understood
now.
that. I
You
mean,
ever-
really, what's the reason?
Did I ever tell you about the fireman from Wichita that went to Jamaica?
I don't know.
Go to Jamaica on a
tell me.
trip. They get all their shit stolen, which
guess it
Jamaica
is.
is a shithole. Anyways, I mean, I hate to tell you this. If you love Jamaica, good for you. It's a beautiful place. You can
Inside
take
the resort.
You can take the shittiest ghetto in America and put the most beautiful water around it, and there you got Jamaica. Anyways, they was at this resort and they stayed there, and they got all their shit stolen except their camera. Couldn't understand why they didn't steal their camera. They got home, had their film done, and there was 5 Jamaicans had their toothbrushes shoved up their butt, and their pictures of them.
But left their toothbrushes. So guess
Yep.
what? They brushed their teeth all week with it.
Yeah.
My God.
Stole everything but their toothbrushes.
Yep.
And camera.
And camera. So they got home and got all these pictures of these Jamaicans with their toothbrushes shoved up their butts. So, anyways,
Hope their faces weren't in there.
no,
You
they're
could-
not going to do nothing. There's
Nothing
nothing
at
they're
that
going to
point.
do. You can't. There's nothing to do. They don't care. That's a problem. You can't call 911. That's what I liked about Puerto Rico, is if something happened, you can
Right.
get some help.
Good.
So that's an interesting thing. I was told you I've been watching Anthony Bourdain. Puerto Rico's kind of in a weird spot because they're kind of a country, but they're not really a country. They're broke. The U.S. isn't going to bail them out, but they kind of keep their thumb over them. So, like, what's the way out for Puerto Rico?
I don't know if there is a way out. I don't understand why. I don't understand. There's been a push my whole lifetime used to be about making them a state.
Right.
And there's a reason they don't want to make them a state, and I'm assuming because of the
'cause of all the
financial
debt.
burden.
Right.
But it's a beautiful country, and we've been there.
Were you watching that with me? Because they were talking about how
kind
many,
of.
like, it's an unfathomable amount of money that this little bitty tiny island owes.
Okay.
Who do they owe?
Well,
Well, they made basically the way I understand it is like they kind of like passed a bond or something, and then just people were like buying up the money somehow, and then dumped it or whatever. So then that became worthless.
do you think it's because, I mean, are they so poverty stricken because of hurricanes? I mean, how often does a hurricane happen there?
Every
and then
year.
they have to rebuild, like a big one.
Well, just that
like,
last one,
Probably every 5 years, I would guess, or 10, like
that
Florida.
one that guy was talking about whenever we were down there.
Because I don't know if y'all knew when we went, they had been recovering from a
Yes.
hurricane. That's why we couldn't, when we went to the rainforest, we couldn't go to all the trails weren't open because they were still rebuilding it. But that's one reason they're broke. It cost us $2 to get into the rainforest.
Should cost more.
not per person, total. Total.
I don't know, but it was an interesting
Jacking
thing
up prices
because
because Jesse said.
yeah, because like kind of like they said, like we're a part of the U.S., but we're not part of the U.S. We kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're broke, but the U.S. kind of keeps a thumb over us to where we can't operate as a country because we're
Kind of like
under
that
the
abusive
umbrella
relationship.
of America, and there's really no way forward without America's help, one way or the other. Like either America needs to fully commit to
Right.
Puerto Rico,
Or just let us go.
or just let us go and try to figure this out.
I think Puerto Rico.
Do they get to vote?
If I'm
No.
No?
they get to have a representative,
get a
but they
s-
don't get a vote on certain things.
They can't vote on the president. I think they can vote on the Senate.
Right.
Maybe.
But I don't. Well, they have a representative, but their representative don't count towards. I don't know how all that works exactly. I'm assuming back in the day we were protecting them from communism from Cuba at one time.
Well, that was one thing is a lot of companies moved their manufacturing plants down there, and then a hurricane wiped all that out, and they said, screw it, we're
Okay.
pulling the plug.
Because Bacardi rum used to be a Cuban deal, and that's a Puerto Rico thing now. They moved all that stuff, and I'm assuming sugar cane is their big export, and probably pineapples.
I don't know.
They don't have a lot. I mean, the
I know
infrastructure.
when we buy pineapples, it says either Costa Rica or Puerto Rico on them.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful place. The roads are absolute shit. The worst roads I've ever seen in my entire life.
You hadn't been to Costa Rica?
No, I haven't. But for an American territory.
I still see Reese and Jameson hanging their heads out of the car
because they were car sick.
But I recommend everyone. I wouldn't mind going to San Juan again. It's a beautiful place.
It was pretty.
Puerto Rico is a beautiful island.
I want to go
Very
to
friendly people.
I'm going to butcher this, but Fajedo.
Huh?
F-A.
In Puerto Rico?
J.
Roll that tongue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fajedo.
the beach at the end of the deal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We were close to it.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, we were about in that area when we took that tour over to the island.
When we went snorkeling. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't remember what that Coyote Caucus or something.
Yes,
that
that's
was
exactly
where.
what it's called. That place Puerto Rico is a beautiful place.
Beautiful.
It was very valuable to the United States during World War II and during Vietnam when we were worried about getting the communism coming in from the South. And it was a Caribbean island, and it gave us some extra. It was a military deal, and we had a base there. And in today's world, it's just different. It's like Greenland. We're wanting to take over Greenland for militarily, and I just don't understand in today's world where we really even need that even.
Greenland? Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're going to get the minerals.
Well, that's what it's all about. But I don't. But Puerto Rico is a beautiful place. It's one of the prettiest places we've been.
Yeah.
I would agree. And I tell everybody all the time I would go to Puerto Rico again. I loved it.
Yeah, I did too.
And one day we will go again. One day I would like to go to Puerto Rico again.
Was it the Anthony Bourdain one that was talking about Vieques? I want to go there too.
What's Vieques?
It's in Puerto Rico.
It's an island.
It's another. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
an island off.
That's where the U.S. does all their bombing and stuff. That was a bombing area.
And they said cancer there is like 4 times whatever what everything else is in Puerto Rico.
Let's go visit.
Yeah, right.
So let the kids play in the sand.
Yeah,
What can go wrong?
don't mind that bomb over there, kid.
Swallow a little bit of.
But yeah, they say the people that live there have way more cancer than what everybody else in Puerto Rico have. So another thing that we just gave Puerto Rico.
Say good luck with that.
Here, let me test out these bombs, and
they said okay.
You got free healthcare down here. You're good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would go back.
Yeah, Jameson said yesterday he's in.
Yeah.
He's in.
He's in. He said yes, Puerto Rico.
I liked our house. I just didn't like our beach at our house.
Right.
It wasn't much beach.
I think if we would have taken the time,
wasn't the
to walk over
really rough?
No, there was a lot of coral and stuff. You couldn't really swim there, and there was seaweed. But if we walked over to that little
nook,
yeah, I think we would have enjoyed that better.
That is a beautiful area.
Wasn't that private?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So now that we're after waterfowl season, because we have 2 lives. We have September.
We didn't
through January.
say much about Mexico. Mexico was a blast. It was fun.
We had
very
a good
relaxing.
time. We had a very good time at Mexico.
Missed Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, that was sad.
Our good friend was coming with us. He broke his
listen
leg.
to this. You're going to be really sad if we talk about
Yeah,
if
it
we
was
dive
terrible,
into how much
Lucas.
fun that we
It
had.
was awful, Lucas.
He broke his leg week before we were going to go.
A day or two, wasn't it?
It was Sunday because we were in church when he texted that he'd broken it, and then we left Thursday.
What was it Tony said to that old lady that was hobbling around? What did he say to her? Something about,
Something about
he goes,
something about
you break your leg or
oh gosh, no, something even dumber. What was it?
Did he not say something about that happened to our friend too or something? And she's like, "No, I'm just old.
I'm just old.
I'm just old."
are you crippled up or something? Or what did he
something
say?
about walking all crippled up there or something. That happened to one of our friends. He couldn't come, and she was like, "I'm almost 80.
I'm just old.
Yeah, I'm 83. So she said, I'm 83. I'm just old. That's why I walk this way.
Jeff, he did not just say that.
Oh my gosh, the biggest thing I keep laughing about. I don't think y'all were even part of the conversation. Is when Michelle got us that drink she'd been hunting for 3 days. We were at the swim up bar, and she comes back with this drink for everybody.
It was a beautiful looking drink on
on
It was
Facebook. It was
terrible,
beautiful.
though. It had oregano or something in it. And
Basil.
I was drinking
Lots
it.
of
and I was like, this is terrible.
It's
and
like
I,
a snow cone.
I told somebody next to me, I said, I'm about to go dump this. Tony had a big old Yeti, and I said, I'm about to go dump this in Tony's cup. So I go up to Tony. And he has one, too, in his cup. And I grab his cup, and I dump it in there. And so, like, the next day, I'm just laughing at Tony because he looks like the rest of the trip, he looked like he just had lipstick on.
Marine lips.
Just red lips. And I said, did you finish that? And he goes, well, yeah. He was like, it was free. And I'm like, exactly, Tony, it was free. Just dump that shit
I
and
put
start
mine
over.
on the bar.
And
He turned around.
He said, that night I couldn't decide if I should just make myself throw up.
What did it have? It have wine in it?
It was red wine and oregano and
Basil?
Tahini basil.
He said I couldn't decide when I went to bed if I should just make myself throw up.
Oh, y'all get,
It gave him such heartburn.
let him roll over and just taste it all over again.
frozen pizza in a glass. So y'all gave me one sip of it. And I was like, that's the nastiest shit I've ever had.
He said it was free. I was going to drink it. I'm like, Tony, dump it.
Yeah.
We're going to get more free drinks regardless.
You could ask
Free,
first.
start over.
It's not like it was your one free drink.
Yeah.
Right.
But so he basically had 2 or 3 because everyone kept putting them in his Yeti.
Oh, oof.
I don't even know how you come up with that drink.
It
Oh,
was
it's
gross.
terrible.
And then someone posted on Facebook, and it's gorgeous, and then everyone's asking for it. And
Oh,
Yeah,
I
'cause
guarantee
y'all kept asking everybody,
Wasn't
and I was
it
like, nobody knew what it
mango?
was.
it probably wasn't even the same drink. This guy's like, okay, these
Let's throw
freaking
some
ladies
stuff in
keep
some
asking,
ice
like,
and-
let's just
let's make
recreate
something up.
it.
What was I think it was mango.
Give these people heartburn. I did not taste any mango in that.
Michelle, we've gone a lot of places, and we've been to the 2 gay.
I think I deleted that
gay,
picture.
we've been to
even.
the 3 gay capitals of the world. We've been to San Francisco, we've been to Provincetown, Massachusetts,
Okay.
and we've been to Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
There was a ton of gay people at Puerto Vallarta. Did you not think so too?
No, that whole plane. I don't remember what it was
Let me
called.
see.
They didn't put all that other
our
crap
drink
on
didn't
there.
No, we
look-
didn't have a
that has
beautiful
tahini.
flower, and
I
yeah,
don't see a speck
You
of
could
oregano
ask
in that.
for tahine or
Yeah.
not.
I guarantee you those bartenders were just tired of y'all asking.
Yes,
They're
they
like,
were.
Let's
just make something
I mean,
terrible
the
that looks
color
kind of
looks
like
the
it.
same, but
Tony's
And
lip
serve it.
stain.
oh, had anybody seen him lately? You still
Tony?
have red lips?
Probably.
No.
Yeah.
He
They
had
finally
take
gave
mom to
up.
the doctor today.
Here,
He's not here.
okay. It doesn't say what it is, but there's our bartender from Super Bowl too.
Oh,
He was
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
Sexy. That's what he kept
He
calling
was
himself.
working for those
He
tips.
was.
And the Super
didn't
Bowl
even
was
know
a
who
really
was
good
playing.
experience. Did y'all enjoy it there?
The
It
food
was-
sucked. That was the worst food we had the whole
The
trip.
barbecue
Barbecue.
my ass.
It
But
was real.
like we said, when we're truly from Texas, we don't
Not
really
good.
like anybody else's
I just
barbecue.
wanted cheese fries. I never found those,
Just wanted queso.
and
that
we
I forgot
missed
about.
out on that.
That's not what they serve in Mexico.
Well, they had it.
That's
Cheese
Tex-Mex.
They had it.
It
That's
was
Tex-Mex.
just cheese.
They had it.
Okay, we'll go to hunting
Back-
season now.
Oh,
Let's go to
I was
hunting
trying
season.
to remember hunting season.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
After
been a
Andy
minute.
texted-
Dove season was the best dove season we've had ever. Probably we
You're
had a
gonna be the
great
one
dove
on
season.
numbers,
We had a
not
great
me.
we had a great dove season. A wonderful dove
As
season.
far as harvesting or people
Hunters,
coming in,
people coming through.
Yeah.
We
it was
every
fun.
weekend.
It was really fun.
and dove
That's
season's
always my
great
favorite.
because
Yeah.
it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Typically,
and then we're off Monday through Thursday basically, and then on Friday everybody shows up again, and then we have some corporate private groups during the week, so it's not that bad. Goose season started, and it was a long season from day one. We started with all the rain. Opening weekend, we shot out. Everybody shot real good, and then it got shitty after that.
the boss
The full
event
moon
was fun.
The boss
It was
event
so much fun.
was wonderful. We
Busy.
were full. We were
hated to not be able to visit with
Yep.
all the people, but that was a fun time.
I'm fixing to start booking on the Boss Steel Reserve hunt for next year.
I was stressed to the max on that one.
Oh, I was
you
too.
think
Andy was
you
like,
were?
Jeff booked about 20 too many people.
Oh, I
You
did.
think you were? Yeah, he
Andy
would
was
come
like,
in.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Everybody kept adding. Everybody added.
Well,
Poop at 3 and they'd be 5.
You
and then,
said, "Well, I invited all these people,
Yeah.
and a
They're
lot of
coming.
times people don't
Right.
show up." And he was like, "Every freaking person I invited
but
showed
it
up
was
this
fun.
time."
I kept telling the girls in the kitchen, we just added some more, and they were like, "How?" I said, "I don't know. Well, it'll work."
it was a good time. We were packed.
It was fun.
It was
did
it
not
was
have fun.
it was rainy, and when
Huge
everybody left
stress.
on Wednesday, I was like, "Thank God."
It was rainy.
It rained a bunch.
It
like
was rainy.
6 inches.
You
of
would have
rain.
had fun if it wasn't work. I mean, you had a task to complete,
But
and
it's
you
work.
Well, in
and
the
you-
rain.
yeah.
We had to combine everybody
and
into 2
switch
groups.
gears.
So like
It was terrible.
And you wanted everybody to have good hunts.
30
and-
people in
which, I
each
mean,
group.
We worked
You
our
do
we
anyways.
worked our ass off those 3 days, and it was the conditions were tough. We had a full moon, no wind, rained 6 inches.
20 extra people.
There was a ton of people here. It was completely
And
packed.
I do almost like those go times a whole lot better because you look up and it's over. And it's like, oh, shoot, we did it.
And we
I
had
don't
a
know
lot-
how, but we did it.
We had a lot of really good people here.
Great people here.
And it worked out, but it was that was kind of the precursor for the whole season.
Right.
A lot of stress and a lot of hard work, and it was a tough year. And you know, everybody's forgotten we didn't have any winter until January 10th, basically.
Until now.
Right
and
now.
now.
Well, now it's been cold since then.
And we're
I mean,
supposed to have another huge
Well,
cold
back
snap.
and forth. We've had some warm.
Right.
it was 95 degrees 2 weeks ago on
That's
a Monday.
what I'm saying. Yeah.
But
And then cold before that, and then warm, and then now it's supposed to be warm next week.
And
It's
then-
supposed to be beautiful next week.
Jeff said,
yeah, March 3rd and 5th, it's going to
Back
get really
to the
cold
end.
and
again.
it's probably going to get cold.
Get real cold again.
Easter.
oh, yeah, always have to have an Easter snap. But,
Probably when the track meet's going to be here.
oh, of course.
That's always when it's cold.
Yep. Snow flurries. But yeah, hunting season, I had to stop and think.
Any new meals this year that you put on the board that you really
Mashed potatoes with
Oh,
the
I
Yeah,
love
roast.
those were good. That was a hit.
liked? That made the roast so much better. I
Jeff
look
is-
forward to roast.
All about it
I
now.
like
Yeah.
it too.
'Cause I got so sick of roast. We have roast here a lot. I mean, we have for 30-something years. We have roast at least twice a week, sometimes 3. Like, so bad the guides, but just we don't want to eat roast no more.
Now,
But
love the guides, but here it is. I've
All of
discovered
them are picky.
they're not, I don't know what they're eating. They're not going to eat. It doesn't matter what I have. They're not going to eat. I think they
Pizza.
eat ramen noodles, pizza,
Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
peanut butter sandwiches.
No,
Happy
I don't
eats
even
peanut
think.
butter.
I never
No,
even
just
saw
straight-
anybody
He
eat
eats
They
it.
eat
They
in
eat
their
their,
room.
their room. Well,
They eat in their room.
they've got a kitchen over there, so they do their own stuff.
And that's fine, but it
Snackables.
used to bother me. Like I
you
was like, oh my
can't.
God, I've got to figure this
No.
out. But like as a whole,
grown men.
I mean, you've been
they
doing this
did
for
not
30
eat.
years.
So finally, toward the end, I was like, it doesn't matter what I make. They're not going to eat.
no.
I
We're
didn't
just
see
going to do
Steak
it.
night.
Snacks.
Did
And
they eat
even at
steak
that-
night? So, yes and no.
I mean,
sometimes.
Blake and Snacks ate over there a lot.
yeah, those two ate.
Blake's married. He don't get a home cooked
No,
meal all
and
the
that's
time.
what
He
he kept
appreciates it.
telling
Yeah, he
them.
enjoys
He was
it.
like, y'all are idiots. This roast is good. I don't care how many nights a week we
The
have.
mashed potatoes to me made it. Like
That
the other day when I
turned
was
it around.
sick, I go, man, I would give. I said, do you still have some roasted mashed potatoes?
that
'Cause
all
she
went
made
to the
some
funeral.
for the funeral, and she's like, no, I didn't. I was like, God,
I saved him like a little bowl of it. And then he wanted some more last night. And I was like, it's way
gone,
gone.
yeah.
Are they instant? What are you make them
no, they're not
No,
instant.
they're
They're
not.
real.
They're just they're real.
They're
They're
ma-
just frozen
yeah.
in a bag.
They're just in
like
a bag.
Bob Evans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
And then
don't
I-
ever say that again.
love
Oh, he
Bob
loves
Evans.
Bob
I
Evans.
add-
Those are
I never
fake.
make mashed potatoes because he prefers those.
I
Those aren't
add
fake.
butter.
They're real.
They're real.
Yeah, you add butter to
If you
Bob
want
Evans.
to, sour cream, bacon. If you want to go loaded, you go loaded. But
I think
mostly
they
I
even
just
have
do-
the ones that Bob Evans. I think they have loaded, and we bought the garlic ones one time, and those were your
Those
favorite.
are good. But this is just Cisco Foods. We'll give a huge plug to Cisco. They screwed us over one week, a whole week, but
You made it through.
they can't.
You got
Oof,
creative.
I don't know how. I do not know how.
The week of the first big freeze and ice storm,
Yep. They shut the
they
little
shut
folks
down all the little down to do the hospitals and nursing homes, and I
In
understood.
Dallas
and our poor
areas.
sales guy, I
No.
felt sorry for him. He told me,
He
he said,
was-
I don't know what to do. He goes,
First,
"They
it
just-
was like you got to get your order in for
A
this
day
week,
early.
a day early now. So I was like, I can handle that
Yeah.
as long as I've got food.
So you hustled, and then it was
So
like.
then
"Never
it was
mind."
like, sorry, you're not getting a truck until
The morning of.
next week.
But the morning of that was
Yeah,
supposed to
it
be
was
delivered.
the morning of because I walked in. I was like, has Cisco already been here? Because it was all clean in there, and they were like,
Nope.
no,
Still
it's
waiting.
Wednesday. And we get our truck on Thursday. They said it's only Wednesday. I said, yeah, remember we had to bump it up. They were like, no, he hadn't shown up. And then Jeff came in.
I got some bad news.
He's like that lady at the
Yeah.
ticket counter at the
He should've-
airport.
He
He's
should have
like,
made Andy go tell you.
or
That
text
would've-
me.
No.
Guess what?
Hey, Andy, go tell your mom.
Tell her there's no food
goes
coming
not.
for a
That's
week.
bad news for
And
you.
it was a huge order. But
and
And
then tide
then what-
everybody over.
Wasn't it
Yeah.
your next order? You got that one, and then like they
Yes.
doubled your
Yes.
order.
Yeah. So we had lots and lots of food at the end. But it worked. It worked. I don't know what we couldn't even tell you what we did. Because, I had to do for breakfast. I had to do supplies. Everything came from Cisco. And it was
People-
like, it's not coming.
Most of the people that are in the hunting business don't have lodges. I'm going to say probably, I'm going to say less than half have a lodge. A lot of people just meet, there's guide services. The ones that have lodges, there's guys that feed 8 people a meal. And then there's where we're at, which is, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a pretty small percentage, that feed 30 to 60 people on an average night. They don't realize how hard it is when you live in a small town like we do.
And you've got to do
Because you got
all your trash bags,
You got to pre-think.
all your cups, all your stuff for the processor, all your cleaning stuff. So between Amazon and Cisco, that's where we get the majority of everything.
But you
do
have to be
plan.
prepared.
You've got to
and plan.
stay steps ahead, just like me constantly with the guides. How are y'all on brown paper bags? How are y'all on Ziplocs? And then they'll come in. We're out of brown paper bags. I just asked you a week ago. That's why we go ahead. And I think there's brown paper bags in there now. They never took down there.
But the pre-planning is not. I have guys I know that do this. And they feed 6, 8 guys. That's all they hunt. And they go to the store and they get steaks or baked potatoes or something. Well, that's real simple when you're feeding 6 people.
One meal and they're
But
gone, not 3 meals.
Yeah, we're
in a
averaging-
row, or 3 dinners.
We have a Walmart close by.
Yeah.
We have 30 people every night here.
So that meal has to
And
switch.
we've got 15
That's what I was gonna say,
families
and then
and
the
guides.
extras, yeah.
So we're feeding 40 plus people every
Yeah.
single day,
Yeah.
3 meals
Probably-
a day.
probably
And you got to
safe
prepare
to say
for it
60.
from breakfast to dinner. And it's a constant.
Breakfast stays the same. Lunch, I switch up the soups.
You do a homemade soups, but
And I switch them up while they're here.
Right.
I don't want them to have a repeat. Same as dinner. I don't want repeats.
Right. But you
Sometimes
have
we
to
have
prepare.
some spillovers where Jeff will be like, "Oh, they're here 5 nights. Well, they're going to taste this twice.
You're going to get it
Promise.
twice.
It's probably going to be
And,
roast."
and you cannot get that through your head that if people have a good meal, they don't care.
It just bothers me because it looks like leftovers. But what was your favorite part of the season when it was over?
Yeah, when it ended. Yeah, probably so.
Come on, think
Are
of
you
something
getting?
else.
Are you getting
Think of it.
close?
It's probably hard to think of.
I enjoyed. I thought I was gonna be the old guy. I was the old guy, but when all the new crop of kids got here, I was like, oh boy,
Yeah.
You're really old.
My first
feeling
night or day I walked in with
I'm
it.
feeling my age here, and then Snacks made it enjoyable. All the guys were great.
Loved 'em.
Snacks was kind of the
Well, because a lot of
Snacks
times
was my end.
Blake 2.0.
Well, a lot of times, all those other kids just kind of tend to like stay in their
Yeah.
own
You
little group.
intimidate
Like
'em.
not many of them. Like finally, Connor's finally. It took him like 2 or 3 years to
yeah.
start actually mingling with us and talking to us.
Yeah,
and
Happy's hitting his stride here. Nolan a little bit, and then the other new guys. Snacks just jumped right in, and
I like that he made you laugh, like right off
yeah.
the bat. And I was like, that
he's a
kid's
funny
going to make
kid.
it.
He's a funny
gonna make
kid.
it.
Andy,
made
Andy
Andy
needs
smile.
a friend whenever Blake's done. He's got to have his next
His
I mean,
person to
shotgun
go
rider.
to.
I enjoyed all of them, but
So you have a generational gap with them, you think?
yeah, it's getting pretty close. Well, I mean,
Well, what about me?
yeah, I mean, it shows.
Granddad.
I mean, I'm way big, and I scout with
Because you
them, and I
used
really
to play
enjoy them.
cards, and y'all used to do all that. Now they had different extracurricular activities. They would much rather go do if they had an evening to go play.
Yeah, they wouldn't play poker.
No,
Well,
not with you.
I didn't
Maybe
play
strip
poker at all this year.
Did y'all at all?
I
One
think
night we
one
played
night.
for about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
That was it. It's a different dynamics there.
I'm going to say my favorite part this year was Christmas break with the boys. Just having them out here so much more,
Oh.
like during the day and stuff. That just reminded me of when y'all were young, and Christmas break was spent out here.
I don't remember.
The
Christmas
boys
break.
hunted a bunch this year.
That's what I was gonna say. That's fun that they got to go a
Were
lot.
you sick
and
at
that
the
they-
end? No, you got sick at the
I
end.
love with Reese. Jameson's. He did real good this year too, but Reese
Lighting the
doesn't.
cotton on fire.
Reese doesn't care at all about having to get up early and doing all the things. Like
No,
he will just go. Mm-hmm. He doesn't ever complain.
right.
Yeah.
That's great.
They said he did a 12-minute wall sit in PE the other day.
A what?
12 sitting on a wall.
For what reason?
It's
Because
part-
they
it
were
was the-
timing. They were
timing
seeing. They
them.
were. Yeah,
okay.
they were
What is a wall
competing.
set?
Sit on a wall.
Well, almost like Pilates.
You know what a wall sit is?
Back
How
your,
tired
need
were
me to
his
show you?
legs?
back your ass up and
Just sit. Pretend there's a chair
pretend
there.
there's a chair there.
His legs had to be jello.
12 minutes?
Yeah, and he said he didn't even win.
Huh?
He said Cassidy Grimsley won.
Always sneaking up on him. Always coming in and winning.
And then what'd they say? How long of a plank?
And then he said he did a 15-minute plank. I think somebody's
How long's
fudging the numbers
PE?
here.
Yeah,
no shit. They
did
learned it
two-
any
they
faster.
did
Just
two
3-hour
exercises.
PE.
They didn't want to mess with them that day, so they were just making
It
them.
was cold, so
Well,
let's
the other
let's
night,
see your endurance.
the first night that the front hit, he had just gotten out of the shower and the wind was howling, and he had a towel on. I said, Reese,
Oh,
Jameson,
Jameson
he
told
didn't
us.
tell us the whole thing.
for every minute you sit outside, you can't. No, you're not gonna get dressed. You can put that towel over you. And I
Gracious.
said, for every minute you stand outside, I'll give you $1. And he
What he told us, he wanted to make it to what, 8 or 12
minutes because he's got the silly string broken down on how many. He's got the pricing on silly string done.
He wants to buy a silly string.
So he goes out there for a minute and he comes back. He said, "Dad, can I put on some underwear and some socks?" I said, "I'll allow it." So he puts on his underwear, puts on socks, and just sits down. He said, "But you got to listen to me on the Ring Video doorbell."
We're gonna talk.
So
well, because he's always freaked out somebody's gonna kidnap him.
yeah.
Not well.
So 12 minutes he sat out there with the towel draped over him.
No shit.
And then he came back in
Then
and his
sick.
hair was frozen.
It was.
And then he's sick 2 days
"Mom,
later.
Look, my hair's frozen.
He's like, "Dad, how long's it been?" 2.5 minutes. Okay.
Dad, how long's it been? 3 minutes and
3
7
minutes.
seconds.
Was his
It's gonna go
butt
by a lot
stuck to
quicker
the-
if you just quit asking.
Start singing.
But he's got some bottom to him. He's
Yeah, he
starting to find
does. He's got some mental
some
push.
mental stick to
But that
it.
just goes back to you saying like he doesn't mind the early morning, the setting up, and
I've
all that other
noticed that,
stuff.
like all the things that we do, like his basketball practices. I mean, all the things. He never complains.
No,
He never complains. Oh, that was hard. Oh, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Oh, I'm tired. I mean, I'll even ask it. He'll be, and I'm like, "Do you need your inhaler?" No. I mean, he never complains.
Well, Andy never
He's a lot like
complained.
Andy.
Yeah. I always said Andy could be a Navy SEAL probably because he had the mental toughness.
I think I definitely complained.
You just
you did.
detach
yeah, that's why I quit
yourself.
playing basketball.
Yeah,
He-
but you didn't during little dribblers.
No, but I did my sophomore year because I hated running back and
Basketball
forth.
sucks.
Hate the
Yeah,
lines.
that's a shitty
basketball.
There's a million games. You got to play on the weekends.
Always
There's
on the
tournaments.
weekends.
There's 2 games during the week. There's 2 or 3 practices during the week. Basketball's a horrible sport.
And I wanted to work out here, so
I hated basketball, and
I'd
I
rather
really
do
hope
that.
that our kids don't pursue it past little dribblers. I just hope that just scrap the whole basketball program. It's a dumb sport
I want
anyway.
them to play it if
right.
they like it and if
It's stupid.
they're good at it.
It's stupid. It's a dumb sport. It's right in the middle of hunting season. There's better stuff to be doing.
I don't think they're going to like it, either one of them. Jameson may. I don't think Reese is going to.
Jameson doesn't really enjoy the sports yet. Like, we had baseball signups, and we're like, "Jameson, you want to play baseball again?" Do I have to? I was
But
like, "I'll
he-
sign you up." He's like, "Well, can you unsign me?"
But he's at that age too where he doesn't want to do anything that's not
Necessary.
familiar.
right.
Yeah,
Don't wanna
that's
put
his
himself
age.
outside of his-
like even when they started going to church, he didn't want to do that.
Right.
Like we had
School.
to really convince
Wednesday
him to
night.
do that.
School, period.
Jiu-jitsu, and then remember when we first started him in jiu-jitsu, I don't want to, and then like one time he was like, "Do we have jiu-jitsu today? I want to go to jiu-jitsu again." Or hips. Remember he was like, "Can we go back to hips?"
That's the dumbest shit ever.
And then he broke his arm.
I mean, it
teaches
teaches
you
you
how to-
ball handling.
It's terrible.
you've made one.
Biggest waste of time in the whole
Well,
world.
they were talking about like last
I made
year
2.
how good our basketball kids were. They said that was like the generation that started
Hips.
hips.
No, it's
and
not.
they were good little
Not
balls.
even close.
In Knox City. In
No,
Knox
it's not.
City.
Payne did that when he
Kelly
was-
Hutchinson and
when
I
Kim
think
Kim
it
McElroy.
went
started.
back and forth though. I think there was a gap in there where they didn't do it.
Well,
Maybe.
I think it's a waste of time.
Teaches ball handling.
Yeah. And the kids like
When
it.
kids dribble, go to the park. You want to learn how to kid play basketball? Go to the inner city to a park and play basketball. That's the
Dodge
best way.
bullets.
That's
Dodge bullets.
That'll make you a better basketball
Where
player.
are we going to do that, Jeff?
Well, I'm just telling
We've
you
got
right now. That's the
hips.
best basketball there is
Well,
at a
we-
park and learn how to play with older kids.
we don't
and
have that opportunity.
Well,
so
That's Knox City is not a basketball town, and never has been.
no.
I mean, we've had some decent teams here and there, but it's not a basketball place. First of all, we're white and Mexican. Look at the NBA right now. Unless you're European or black, you're not playing in the NBA.
I don't watch
Or
the
7 foot.
Well, I mean, we don't have a lot of tall
a white
kids.
guy that's 7 foot.
But I would
you
like to
keep
go watch
looking at
Monday
yourself?
play. No, I can. I would like to go see Monday play tonight in the playoffs.
Where do they play? In,
I think they're
you
playing
thought-
in Clyde tonight. Ryan Thrash's son plays. He's really good.
I'm watching the hockey game tonight.
That's the only reason I would stay home is to watch the hockey.
Is Trump going?
No, but he's
Bump
got
those.
a message before the game starts.
Elon
And
Musk was supposed to have a $90 gazillion ad at the Super Bowl, and that never happened.
Well, no,
So-
no. He did. I read it on Fox today that Trump has got a message for the team,
Okay.
and they say in it, he makes a little comment about the 51st state. Go beat the 51st state or something. So
Where's the game?
it's in
I have
Boston.
no idea. Is it
It's
in Boston? What's gonna suck is like everybody's tuning in to watch the fights.
Truck or helicopter?
Sounds like a helicopter. Everybody's tuning
Dropping
in.
Lexi off.
Yeah. Everybody's
There she-
tuning in to watch the fights, and it's not gonna happen again.
Right.
So,
yeah,
like, you
that's
should've
done.
watched
They
the
got
first-
put in place. Their place.
Yeah, or maybe that might be a plane. Might even be a helicopter. So, I mean, I know that's not going to happen, and I don't know anything else about hockey, so I'm really holding out that maybe they will scrap it up again.
Get a little chippy out there.
Get a little bit chippy. It's going to be interesting to see, but it's played in America this time, so I don't think that they would boo the national anthem unless the crowd is all Canadian.
They'll
boo the Canadian national anthem tonight.
Oh, they should.
Maybe that'll piss the Canadians off.
Yeah.
That's why they
They'll
did
probably-
that, because it's got people like y'all watching it now.
Exactly. That's what I said. Like
Big
you've
good
gone
for-
in the
big good for
commercial.
ratings.
Like
Most watched hockey game ever.
oh my gosh.
Last week's was?
This one will be.
Or tonight will be?
Tonight
no,
with
no, no.
anticipation.
Let me double check, but the hockey game the other night had 4.4 million viewers.
That's a bunch.
Or like the Kanye West and his wife
The
stunt.
Miracle on Ice had more viewers than that because everybody watched TV because there was only 3 channels back then. And it was an Olympic game.
I
No.
was way wrong.
Uh-oh.
What was it?
2 point.
No, more than that.
I don't
Probably.
even know what you said.
bet
What'd you
less.
say that you were wrong about?
4.4 million.
I bet it's way less.
Miracle on Ice, I bet, is still the number 1 watched hockey game of all time.
This
Oh,
is
I
giving
thought
me attendance. Oh, I don't want attendance.
TV ratings.
I thought you meant like a Disney on Ice.
No. America
I
played
didn't know what it
Russia.
was either.
America played Russia in '84 in
Okay,
Lake
you just-
Placid in the Olympics.
Words.
And Russia
All right.
had pro players, and we had actual
Okay.
amateurs.
I'm not retaining any of that.
I understand that.
information.
Well, no, this acts like it might be. Because this, on Wikipedia, this says 4.1 million viewers for 2024 Edmonton, Florida Panthers Stanley Cup. And then it goes down from there. So maybe it was. Maybe it was up there.
Go to Yahoo and put up most watched hockey game on TV ratings ever.
That's what I'm on.
Well, I promise I won't watch. I mean, it'll be on, but
I don't know if it'll be on or
What
not.
time does it start?
7.
7.
Oh, okay.
This has over 27 million for the U.S. Oh, I think that's what they're anticipating. No.
ooh. Do you have to pay? Is it pay-per-view?
No, it's on ESPN.
Wow.
Do we
Someone
have
messed up.
ESPN
Yes.
on YouTube TV?
Yes.
Oh, see, you got lucky there.
You kept your YouTube? I thought you turned it
Well,
off.
the day that he tried to go pause it, it had renewed already
For the month?
a month.
So you got an extra month out of it?
I don't know.
So that's why I'm saying he got lucky, because normally it would
Why
have been
can't you
paused.
plug into my YouTube TV? Because I've got it in the office out here also.
Probably could.
Our
I don't.
account?
We don't like. We've got it for this month, and we never watch it, ever.
YouTube?
I'll
What do
watch
you
it when I don't know what I want to watch. I'll go look at what's on live and I'll find something. But
What
that's
do y'all
it.
watch?
All my shows are on Peacock, so I watch Peacock pretty much. And then we watch YouTube, like documentaries and stuff.
Did you tell me Netflix is up to $32 a month now?
I think so, but we have that extra
Did I?
10 for our barnacles.
That,
All
y'all
the
probably
leeches
don't
in our
even
family?
watch it. I was thinking
Yeah,
that
we watch
y'all
Netflix.
do watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I watch Amazon Prime stuff lately when I do that, and I watch a lot of Tubi because I like old '70s movies, and I'll watch 2 or 3. I'll get on a Steve McQueen kick or a Clint Eastwood kick or old movies, and I'll watch a lot of that. I watched a really good movie the other day, a detective show out of New York.
I
But
don't really watch TV. I turn it on CMT because, like in the morning, because it's Roseanne, then King of Queens, and that just plays all day long.
Andy usually does Reba.
Mom.
Reba
I
is
can't
our
stand that
go-to.
I like Reba. I like the older ones, the first ones.
that Barbara Jean, I'd have killed that bitch.
I was telling Andy this morning.
She's
I
so
said,
rude.
if all people could co-parent like them,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Oh, Barbara Jean, you'd shoot.
maybe.
Saturday's United States Canada NHL Four Nations Face-Off game averaged 4.4 million viewers per Nielsen, trailing only Game 7 of last year's Stanley Cup between the Oilers and the Panthers, 7.6 million, as the most watched NHL affiliated telecast of any kind in the past 2 years.
NHL type show. That's
in the past 2 years.
Okay, in the past 2 years. Before that, it was probably more than that.
Yeah.
That's what, because I know the Miracle on Ice was an Olympic deal, so
It's
they had a
still-
ton of viewers for
Thinking
that.
of
Because that's international all
Disney.
over. I just don't watch. I don't know much about hockey.
Oh,
I
I'll
think,
have no idea what's going on tonight.
Okay, so you're on. You don't know. I don't know shit about
But
hockey.
Reese
I know
will
when-
act like he knows.
I know when. Oh yeah, I guarantee you, Reese is going to be. He's going to be broadcasting like, oh, they're doing this and that. It's a little bit like basketball. It's a little bit like soccer. I know when the puck goes in the net.
What's the icing? I don't understand that.
No clue about penalties or anything like that. I know when the puck goes in the net, that's going to be a point. When the gloves come off, that's going to be a fight. Anything beyond that, I'll be able to look at the clock and know when the game's probably going to be over. Past that, no clue.
Reese will fill you in.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Reese
tell
will
you,
let me know.
ho-
100%.
hockey players outside of probably UFC guys are the toughest some bitches I've ever known in my lifetime.
100%.
Shane Churla used to hunt with me, and he was the goon for the Dallas Stars. Shane got
Is that his name or is that
No, it's
like
his-
a title?
No, a goon is it?
Like a position?
No, well, they just the guy that fought. They'd bring him out to fight. That's all his goal was to go fight the other guys.
So they know when he's coming out.
He was a tough son of a bitch.
Gloves are
Anyways,
off.
Shane
Mouthpieces in.
Shane took a puck to his ankle and had to have surgery, like on Monday. Well, he couldn't play for 3 weeks or a month. So guess where he came? He came up to the lodge and hunted with us. He had surgery on Monday. On Wednesday morning,
He was coming.
it was muddy and crappy, and we had to carry decoys in, and he was carrying decoys in the field. Just had his ankle operated on. Toughest son of a gun I've ever been around in my entire life.
My chiropractor played hockey, and I don't know the whole story, but he's missing 2 front teeth.
I don't doubt it. Have you
Yeah.
seen? So a long time ago, the goalies didn't even have face masks.
And you were considered a rookie till you had so many stitches.
But I mean, you can like his entire body.
Yeah.
Like he's got markings there on his chest. I mean,
What
down
is
there.
the end game?
Make a living.
He looks like Frankenstein.
Not much
Right?
of one.
Yeah, no, I guarantee you he didn't get paid much.
Whoa.
Well, but he made more than the average person did back then.
And he
Because
got to play.
Yeah.
And he had the name for it.
And he got to play hockey.
even the guys that played, I
Thought
worked with.
Zach's ear was bad.
I worked with Ralph Neely, and he played for the Cowboys, and he was starting for the Cowboys. He was an All-American. He played both offense and defense when he at OU, and he played for the Cowboys. He was an offensive tackle. Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, made pretty good living. Those guys had to work regular jobs. When football season was over, he'd go get a job. He told me, he said people would crack up. He said I used to jog at Love. What's the lake? Rock Lake, Little Rock, or not something. White Rock Lake is right by Love Field. Back then, before Harry Hines was a prostitution destination.
gosh.
And he said he would jog there, in off season. He said, I'd be jogging, smoking cigarettes and jogging. He goes, people would look at me like, what the hell? And he said, if you'd have came in the Super Bowl at halftime of the Super Bowl, he goes, we're all sitting around drinking water and smoking cigarettes. Tom Landry's going over stuff. He said, we're smoking and drinking. He goes,
Wow.
it's a different game back then.
Wow.
Different
That's
breed
crazy.
of men.
Yeah, it was a whole different breed of men, but
whole
they still
different
made
breed
good
of-
living compared to the average person. They were
Yeah.
making
But they weren't-
$60,000 a
yeah,
year when the
but they
average
weren't
income was
making what-
$15,000.
They weren't making what they make now.
No, you couldn't retire off of being an offensive lineman there was very few guys. I don't think the first person to make $1 million a year was until 1980 or something.
Wow.
And I think maybe Joe Namath had the first contract as $1 million a year, and he might have been done before then. Maybe Joe Montana. But guys didn't make enough money back then compared to the money that the pro athletes make today. I saw where there was a guy that played for the Dallas Mavericks a long time ago. His name was, it might have been Sidney Moncrief. What's wrong?
I'm just thinking about me thinking about Disney on Ice.
Can't get it out of her head.
But he's a coach for somebody now, and it may not. Is Adrian Dantley's who it was? He played for the Mavericks for a little bit, and one of the players asked him about. He said, "Well, I've got a home here and a home there." He goes, "Damn, you got a lot of homes." He goes, "Well, I invested all the money I made back then." He goes, "Yeah, but you didn't play when we were making 25 or 30 or 40 million a year."
Yeah,
He goes, "No," but he goes, "I still made a good living, and real estate wasn't expensive then, and we bought homes. Him and his wife did." Just a difference between what players make today. Like Jim Kern, I asked Jim one time. Jim was one of the best relievers in baseball. If Jim would play pro baseball today, Jim would be making 15 to 25 million a year. Jim probably made $1 million a year. 1 year was probably the most he ever made.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of money in 1978 or 1980. Who was the first player to make $1 million a year in the NFL? Was Joe Montana? O.J. Simpson, maybe?
OJ didn't. I've watched enough OJ documentaries to know that. $1 million a year.
Well, you have a computer right in front
That's
of
what
you.
No.
He wants to use his
I
own
want this.
first.
I want this pride.
I get this.
I will say
I said Joe Namath a minute ago.
Namath.
Yeah.
That early in the 60s?
Well, he played in the 70s too.
Probably right. I'll check that.
And he might.
You don't want to put a guess in?
He's going to check it because he thinks Jeff's right, man.
I was gonna say Elway, but Joe Namath.
No, John
had
Elway would have been.
Broadway Joe.
And
All right.
and he might not even have been there either because it might have been way before his time.
No.
Terry Bradshaw, maybe.
$1 million a year.
I'm gonna say Terry Bradshaw's who I'm gonna take my guess at.
Somebody you never even heard of?
No, it's giving me
I'm sure the stats are.
stupid things. It was Joe Namath.
Joe Namath made $1 million a year.
1965.
Wow.
Yep.
That was a ton of money in 1965.
The first NFL player to sign for $1 million. But that's $1 million. I don't know if that's...
$1 million per year is going to be, I bet you Terry Bradshaw is going to be the $1 million per year.
So that $1 million was just like signing,
No, I'm thinking
or
that
like
that
stretched
million...
out over his
Contract.
career.
That's his contract
Yeah,
was
so
probably.
maybe like $1 million for 3 years or something
Right.
like that.
First NFL player to make...
I'm gonna say, I don't know.
Bruce Matthews
Oh, offensive lineman for
was the
New
first
England.
player to earn
for
a base
Tennessee.
salary of $1 million in a year in 1983.
I was gonna say like Ditka.
However, Johnny Lamb Jones of the New York Jets in 1980 was the first player to earn $1 million in a season, including a signing bonus.
Where's Johnny Lamb Jones for $20, ladies? I'll give
Never
you
even
$100.
heard of him.
I'll give you $100 if you can tell me where he's from.
Oh, where he's from?
Dallas, Texas.
You got Texas right. I'll tell you.
Gargle.
I'm gonna tell you where he played football at. There was 2 of them. He played at the University of Texas. There was
doesn't
Johnny.
mean crap.
There was
So
Johnny.
he's
Hold on. There was Johnny Lamb Jones and there was Johnny Ham Jones. They were both stars on the team.
Oh, yeah, that helps
Yes.
me. New Braunfels, that's where he's
No,
from.
I'm gonna tell you where. Johnny Ham Jones was from Hamlin, Texas.
Okay.
Where's Johnny Lamb Jones from?
Which
Hamlin.
some people from
Lam-
Mexico knew where
Lampasas.
Hamlin was.
Bingo, Lampasas.
Lamb passes.
So did they give them those
Lamb
nick-
and ham.
Did
Lamb
they
and Ham.
give them their last names? Not like on birth certificates, but
What are you talking about?
were they like nicknames?
Yeah, Lamb Jones. Yeah, his mom didn't say, you know what, we're gonna call that motherfucker Johnny Lamb Jones. No.
Jeff. Some people are named Kool-Aid and
Well, that's a newer thing now. Back then, they
Devo
didn't
and-
name people like that. Johnny Lamb Jones was from Lampasas.
okay. So see that
So
makes
I'm
a difference. I thought those were their
I'm assuming
Christian names
Darrell Royal, their head coach at Texas, probably said Lamb Jones and Ham Jones.
to keep it separate.
Lamb passes and Hamlin.
Hamlin, Texas.
Okay, now back to Hamlin. Meeting those people in Mexico that knew where Hamlin was.
Well, yeah, they own the
They don't
It
own
was
it. They said they
ju-
don't own it.
They do business with
They
it.
oh, they do business
yes.
with the
They sell-
feedlot
yeah,
there.
because every time we'd say they
female.
own it, no, we don't own it.
We do business with
With the
them.
Teague gentleman from over there that owns the grain elevator. Okay, I was thinking that too.
Did anybody ever? Do y'all know the names of the people that we met that hung out with us the whole
Nolan.
time? That
Nolan.
well, I knew, but you
I
don't
can't
know his
remember. I
last
can't
name
remember
or
the other
anything.
names. Really nice guy.
He
Took a
hadn't reached
picture
out
with
or
us.
anything.
Huh?
He hasn't reached out or anything.
No, I hadn't seen nothing.
We
I
have
told
a
him
family
to.
picture with them.
But we've only done one podcast and it just come out yesterday since the whole trip.
Jeff got the man flu.
And then we met the guy whose son-in-law was the pro golfer. God, what's his name? Max.
No,
Oh,
call
were
that
they the
one.
ones, California?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
Californian people?
The Hamlin people.
That's what I was about to say.
Right.
Weren't those the
Yeah.
same
They
were the
people?
whole
Same group. They were together, and it was Max Holman, his father-in-law, who's a top 10 golfer in the world.
I think I was getting the nasty drinks at that point.
And then y'all didn't meet the people, but where were they drug dealers?
Whoa, we're going way out here now.
Y'all stayed up later
this was,
than
this
us.
was 20 years ago. What country?
Wow.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Singapore.
Huh?
Yeah. He was in the military.
He was in the military and was stationed over there. Fell in love with a bartender.
And she was a drug
More than a bartender.
No, she wasn't dealing.
Her
She was
family.
making. Her family were drug dealers, and she was
Where'd
making
y'all meet these people at?
at the
At the
bar.
pool.
They stayed
At
up
the
late.
swim up
Oh,
bar.
okay.
No, it was like 4 in the afternoon.
But that was
Three.
her. That was
We
her
were-
family's
we were at the
business in
warm
Singapore. They were the heroin kingpins over there.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty
So she
interesting,
was
though.
making heroin in the
Yeah.
basement.
And then he was getting out of the military, and then he transitioned into
Had to
helping
clean that up.
sling heroin.
Last
for a while.
time me and Mom were in Puerto Vallarta, we met
I forgot about that.
a couple on the rooftop bar. The guy was a big pot farmer.
Yeah.
I mean, legal
like,
pot
like
deal.
Hemp.
He died like a year ago. Really interesting. He was
how
a
do you
very
know
interesting
that?
guy
You have him on Facebook or something?
Michelle's
Still?
friends with his wife, but he
Yeah.
passed away from cancer.
He did like the gummies and the lotions.
But
and
they
that was
were.
what his job
He told
was.
me he owned 100 acres that they raised. You can make a lot of money off of 100 acres of fucking marijuana shit.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I wonder if that's going to get legalized now that Kennedy's in.
growing it.
Wait, is
If
he
you mean
a,
federally?
Is he a supporter of it?
I think he's a
He-
supporter of anything natural.
I don't know. With him being a heroin addict, I don't know where he stands.
Oh,
on
he used to
marijuana.
be a heroin addict?
Yeah.
Big
I didn't
time.
know that.
Yeah. But he's for like everything else.
That's if you have it
Natural.
regulated.
Yeah.
Also, and it's not full of fentanyl. You'll find out that way if you can regulate it. And that's Jeff's point on making it legal. Then people will at least know,
What's in it.
kind of. We don't know what's in our Fruity Pebbles. We're just now
This is
finding
true.
out. That's from our government. But I don't know. It'll all be interesting to see it unfold.
I think Cash Patel's supposed to get confirmed.
Today.
Today, I
I think
think.
so. He passed the what? He's going to get through.
What
The
about this new
Republicans-
check we might get?
The Republicans cannot go against Trump because
Oh, they can.
all this money that's getting uncovered has got ties to places, and they're scared to death they're going to get caught
to
too.
be. They're gonna get caught.
I'm
No
against-
one's gonna be safe.
I'm against the Doji money.
You got
Why?
To get,
I don't think that they should give it back to people.
you don't think
What
so?
do you mean?
I don't.
I think they should. I'd love a check.
Well, yeah, you no shit. There's no doubt about that. You're about like
wouldn't?
Jameson when it comes to money.
You're
Yes.
just gonna turn down a check.
No, I didn't say I would turn
Give
it
yours
down.
back
If
then.
they give it to us, I'm going to cash the damn thing and put it in the bank.
No.
But I think instead of giving money back to us, I would rather give our soldiers raises
Or school
and pay down
systems.
and put
teachers.
more money into Social Security and pay off our debt.
Oh,
That's because you're talking Trump. I saw again today. He
said
said
20%.
That could be as much as 15 or 20,000 per person.
if they keep finding money,
I'd be all about it.
I'd be happy. You got more persons in your household too.
Give me the money.
Show me the money, honey.
And
I am Jerry Maguire. Show me the money, Jerry.
well, if they give us a check, I'm gonna cash
We're gonna
it down.
stimulate
I'm
the
gonna put that-
economy.
But I would rather them take that money and actually do something good with it. If they're gonna waste the shit, then yes, I'm for it.
It would be good in my pocket.
They'll
I
stimulate
can get it right where it
correctly.
needs to go.
And Trump's deal is it's our money. It's their
Right.
money. They deserve that money. Everyone does, and so I'm for that. Boy, I'm gonna tell you right now, if if everybody gets a check, let's just say 5,000 because that's the minimal amount, $5,000.
I'll take it.
I'm telling you right now, everybody's gonna be fucking King Trump. They're gonna be happy as shit. And
It's my daddy.
the Democrats that are all for free shit are gonna be
Oh, of
against
course.
this for some reason.
Some of them.
Would
Some of them won't know where it came from.
this is a question Bill Maher asked Kid Rock? Would you, if Trump said he was going to run for a third term and change some rules,
No,
you would be against it?
Yes.
Everything's rocking along great.
I don't care. You just don't. You don't.
You
change
just
it.
dangerous precedent to set.
Yeah, and there's already someone's put that into to deal.
And I
No.
think he'll get what he wants done. I think he'll get the stage set and have who he wants in place to take over and finish what
Right.
he's doing, set to win the next election. He can pull an Obama and pull puppet strings and all that
No, I don't.
stuff.
I think
No, I
when
don't think
he's
he-
done,
I-
he's going to go. He's an old man. 30, he's only been in office 31 days. Now, this is his second term, so he knows what he's doing. But
He's got a
we
little
got we got
checklist.
31 days of JD Vance, who looks pretty impressive right now, and I like him standing up for the right things. But no, I don't think Trump should get a third term. I think we should
I don't
stick to what we've had. I don't.
Right.
I
Is
don't.
what it is.
Yep.
They're
get
trying
two-
to
no-
change that.
No, well,
no,
I
just-
think it's like saying we're going to take over all these different
Andy
things. I
asked
think
me
he's just
if I would be
fucking with people.
opposed to him having a third term, and I said yes. I think that
Even if
we've
things
gotta-
are going great, he gives everybody $10,000 from wasted tax money. You know,
Is that a possibility?
yeah.
it's,
Oh.
could be more than that.
Jeff said he didn't want it.
Jeff said he's going to turn his back.
I'll take yours.
I never said I would turn it back. What I said was I would rather them take that money and pay our soldiers extra money.
In
Well,
a
the soldiers
perfect
are going to
world.
get $10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said
And plus
extra.
all their kids.
Jeff said extra.
I would rather them pay that more money there, prop up Social Security, give them all a raise.
Well, there's some people that really need it and they really want their 10,000.
Who are they? They're not in this room.
Me. I really want it.
Yeah,
I want it.
I want it.
There's no one in this room that's going to make a difference in their life.
Yes, it would
No, it
would not.
momentarily.
100%
We'd
it would
have
make
a
a difference.
fabulous summer.
Yeah.
What would you do with your 10,000?
Disney
That
World
make
would
a
be
difference.
like open bar.
We're already going to Disney World. There's nothing
I
different of it
said
all.
it-
Okay, we're just
We
for shits
would
and
buy
grins,
the
hold on.
lightning lane passes at Universal Studio because
Okay.
we can't afford those right now.
You can afford them. You just don't want to spend them. Hold on.
But if Trump-
hold, just backtrack just a minute.
Okay.
First of all,
I'll be quiet.
Michelle's talking about this 10. Oh, we'll have so much more fun at Disney.
I said this summer.
This summer. No, you said Disney
Okay.
too. Okay. How much money are you taking to Disney?
Whatever you tell me. to
How much
take.
are you going to take?
You want to get into that?
You don't ever spend the money you take. You don't ever take no money. Ever. So you're not going to spend any money of yours at Disney. At Disney, you're not going to.
What is this, yours and yours?
No, it's
We're not supposed to think of it that way, are we?
well, no, but that's
Ours
the
is
way
our
it is.
money, honey.
Yeah,
Step out.
yeah. But I know that's not going to happen. So it doesn't matter.
So we're taking your money.
No, we're going to
the way
take the
it
money.
sounded to me.
We're
Exactly
taking,
what it
we're taking
sounded
our
like.
money. We're not taking
But
your
it's
money.
your money.
No, we're taking our money,
There's
not your
y'all's money and her money.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Now, so our lives not going to change over this stimulus thing one bit. It would be
Our
nice.
lives won't.
Our nice. They send me and Michelle both $10,000 apiece. Me and Michelle probably will go to.
Swimming.
We'll go on a trip somewhere.
And that's great for the economy.
Me and Michelle will go probably 2 trips somewhere. We're not getting in an in-ground pool. We're not
That
doing
is
it.
good for the economy.
But we're going to spend money. We'll go somewhere. Regardless, we're going to do something anyways.
When are we
But
getting
it'll
this
make it more
$10,000?
fun.
But
It's all hypothetical right now.
So years.
No.
no. It's
It's money.
probably will happen by
all the
sometime.
money that they're finding that has been wasted.
Blown. They've cut.
Trump wants to give 20% of whatever the total amount is and give it to everybody.
All of the frivolous spending he shut down.
Why? I mean, we're still as a country in so much debt.
We're not as in much debt as we think we are because if
But like this,
we can pay off all our fucking debt pretty damn
That's
fast.
what I'm
with
saying.
they're
Why would you start handing out stimulus checks if
It's not a stimulus check.
Stimulus.
This is your money
it's
that got
just,
wasted.
they've been wasting
Here.
this on coffee filters and stupid amounts.
Okay,
of-
that makes sense.
He's
Well-
like, we're cutting this spending, so guess what? We'll give it to y'all because they were going to blow it anyway.
Plastic cups, like coffee cups that we have here.
I don't even
the
think I
Dutch
told
Limited
you.
Cups, $1,200 per cup is what the government's been paying
At
us.
the IRS building, where 90% of the IRS agents don't go into work.
Yeah, they're all remote workers,
$600 million they spent on sushi last year. At
and
the
they all
IRS
work
office.
remotely.
Only 4% of them go to work.
So he's cut that spending. He's saying we're not paying that stupid shit anymore.
But-
So
but-
now he's like,
That's good.
how about
That's
we
what
give
we
it to
needed him
Americans?
for.
But
Yeah.
he's going to take just 20% of what they find.
He's saying
20% is going to go to I read the deal. 20% is going to debt. 20% is going to go back to the American people, and 60% is going to go back into the budget, I guess, of what they're going to start paying off shit with. I don't know, but let's say you get 10,000, so y'all get $40,000.
$40,000.
Oh, we'd get it per kid?
Yes. Every
American citizen gets $10,000.
Oh, you're going to want to be an American citizen then, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's still be done. But $40,000 for your family. Y'all are very responsible for your money. You're not going to blow it
Buy
anyways.
another house
We
in
wouldn't
town.
blow it.
but you
I might take an extra vacation, but we'd also probably
That's what
buy
I-
another
Andy
house.
says, no, you'd probably buy
But-
another house in KC.
But you think about our situation in our town. How many people in our town could really, really, really use that money
Oh,
that would help
absolutely.
them?
Yeah,
Get it.
That's
pay
why I
off.
said when
Yeah.
you were like, "No, don't do that for us." I mean, there's a lot of people that
That would
it
be life-changing.
That'd be a yes.
I'm
and I'm
talking
not
about
trying
us
to be
personally.
rude, saying,
I mean,
or summer
Megan,
would
they'd
be
get.
fun.
Let's see, she's still
She
got
had
5 kids at home.
$470,000.
5 kids at home, and then their two, so
70,000.
7. They'd get $70,000.
I mean, and it could be 8,000. It could be 12. I mean, they don't know yet, but I think 5,000 is the minimum.
But let's
still
say
finding
let's
money.
say it's $5,000 though. You take that poor family out there that's got 3 kids and they're just barely making. It's $25,000.
Yeah.
Hell, good, God bless them. I'm happy for them.
Oh, yeah.
When I said that I didn't want the money, I don't mean I wouldn't take it. I just would rather us pay. I would rather pay our soldiers. I've got a son that's a soldier who's fixing to get out. I know how much they don't make compared to what they make, and his life's not bad at all.
No, and
but I look for the
he's way
guy
up
that's a
there, too.
soldier that's got 3 kids and he's a career guy and stuff. Pay them extra money. You know?
well, that'd be a lot for them to have to weed through to decide who.
But like
they
Andy
think
said,
should
they'll
need it.
also
No, I mean all soldiers. If
a pay raise.
if you're fighting for our country, I don't give a shit if you're a diesel mechanic. I don't care if you dig ditches. I don't care if you're a doctor in the military. Whatever you do, if you're willing to sacrifice the best 20 years of your life, because Payne explained this to me the other day, and I hadn't thought about it that way, but he gave up 6 years of his life from 20 to 26 years old. That's usually the best time of your whole life to build a life on, and gave it to the government. There's people that do that for 20 years, and they got families, they got everything in the deal. The moms shouldn't have to work if their dad's if you've got a husband that's active military,
Right.
that'll make enough living that they can
Instead
still be a
of-
stay-at-home mom instead of her having to get a job at Walmart or whatever she's doing.
Right. Because they can't keep a consistent job because
Right.
they're always getting moved
There's a
around.
chance
and
you're going to
stuff.
move or
and
whatever
that's
it is.
that is or one of the big reasons Payne said he was never going to get a girlfriend or get serious. He said,
This
"That's
life doesn't
stupid. This
sustain
life
that
does
at
not."
this
He said,
moment.
"You can't
Yeah.
build.
Yeah.
It's just way too much work,
Yeah.
and it's not fair."
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
anyway, he's got a good group of kids or guys or whatever that he's really enjoying now that he's about to get out, and
Show me the money.
I'm ready.
I've already got it spent.
Summertime
Yeah, me
in
too.
my
I've-
head.
You know those reels that I send you? Those places you're never going to take me? You're taking me.
Trump's taking her.
I already
only
found a...
Trump is sending
I
y'all.
already, just today, found a place in Curacao I want to go to.
Where's that?
Oh, a long
Talking about
way, isn't
Aruba.
it?
Talking about
Where?
Aruba.
That's like
Beautiful.
Let's talk about
8 hour.
South America.
They're all pretty.
They are.
So
Just pick Puerto
you're
Rico.
splitting hair. Yeah, just go with
You
the
know what we ought
Go
to
back
do?
to the Bahamas
shortest
then.
flight.
Listen, we all get 15,000. We ought to go in as a family and buy a house in Maine.
Oh.
That's what we ought to do with the money,
That
and then
would
rent
be-
it out as a VRBO.
That'd be the smart move, but another watch would be cool too.
Another watch.
I
And
was
the-
talking to one of my customers yesterday.
And the boys would never know they got it. So
She
Right. Yeah, they'll never
manages,
know.
They don't
she
watch
manages
Fox
a
News.
Airbnb in Haskell, and this family lives in Midland, and like never comes to Haskell. She just manages
It's an
it. I've
investment.
always, I know, but like
Probably when Haskell was booming.
I would love to do that. Like I've thought about an Airbnb in Costa Rica or something like that, but like that terrifies me. How do people do that all the time?
be s-
Own a house somewhere that they never have their hands on it.
I would be
But that
scared in
scares
a
me.
foreign country because you just don't know. In America, I wouldn't be worried.
You
about
can do
that.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
That wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean anywhere. I mean
Bahamas.
Nashville. Like I mean,
You
I
should have been on
want-
that boat about
that's what
10
I'm saying.
years
I
ago.
want to do something like that. Find a big tourist destination, and I want to have an Airbnb there.
You got to
but that's
find the
scary.
tourist destination before it becomes a tourist
Yes.
destination. 'Cause
You're
you
still
can't
going to
go buy
make money.
anything.
I mean, yeah, you can.
Yeah, but it costs so much to buy a place there.
I
Like,
know.
If you'd have bought into me and
Taxes.
Me and
You'd have
Michelle,
done Nashville 10
when do
years
we
ago.
talk to people? When do we talk to the lady that lived at
Coeur d'Alene?
Gatlinburg,
Oh,
Tennessee?
no, but remember Coeur d'Alene?
Yeah, we had a chance 30 years ago to buy a place at Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and we didn't. Well,
Stole
fucking
it.
stupid.
Could have stolen it.
Yeah, and it was dumb. And looking back, we didn't have a lot of money then. We had a little. I mean, it's things were different then.
Yeah.
But like Andy said, if you get in on the cutting edge, let's say Bath, Maine is going to be the next big place, and so you bought something there now. Well, 20 years from now, you'd cash in or 10
Yeah,
years.
we were on an elevator. I think it was in Mexico with a lady from Gatlinburg. Wasn't it? It was an elevator. I
told
wanna
her,
say.
I said, we've been through there once. It's really pretty. She goes, you don't want to go on a weekend.
Yeah, that was the elevator.
Like it's like bumper to bumper traffic all the time in the summertime and stuff. And that's a little place
Now?
that wasn't. Yeah,
Yes.
it's horrible. When we drove through there, it was about this time of year.
Wasn't it COVID?
No,
Or
but
no?
it was before COVID. But we drove through there, and it was like
Dollywood was closed.
It was like miniature golf, all kinds of things. And I told Michelle,
Like
I said,
the
"Boy, I bet
places-
in the summer this is a happening place."
Was it Michigan? We took them and they did like the rock climbing kind of stuff after we did
Yeah.
the rafting
The
and
zip
almost lost
lines
Jeff.
and all that stuff.
It was stuff like
didn't
that
zip line.
everywhere.
yeah,
but
the
they
kids
have.
did on that
it
not zip
wasn't a
line,
zip
but
line.
they had the
it
cool
was
obstacle
Jesse
course.
went.
course thing. Yeah.
I'll never forget that when we almost lost you that trip in
Yeah,
the
in the
raft.
We didn't
when
almost-
he
I can
jumped
swim.
out.
You jumped out for a hat, didn't
And
you?
your
No. I got-
life jacket looked like a little kid puddle jumper.
Yeah.
to the top and you didn't.
Life jacket was like,
Well, I jumped out to pull the canoe, so y'all wouldn't, the rafts,
it
y'all
was
wouldn't get.
about 10 more feet down.
Yes, I thought it was like 2 foot water, and it was like 12 foot or 14.
People in their houses up above were just laughing.
Where'd that big man just go?
Why did he jump?
I jumped in, I was like, oh shit, and I didn't have a bunch of air either. I was like, fuck.
He was like, it's a
It
whole
was-
lot
wasn't it-
deeper
it was
than
a little
I thought.
cold, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
think it
Very
was cold.
cold.
I had a dive bomb red bucket hat. The only red dive bomb bucket hat they got. Kay Tricky gave that to me.
Did
at
you lose
Squad
it?
Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Never seen
You
it
remember
again.
it would
Floated off down the
float?
river.
He was sad about his hat. The
Yeah.
grandkids were laughing because that life jacket.
I missed that because Jameson had to take a nap. He was
Yeah.
still too small.
We're gonna go back to Michigan again as the summer as a
The
family.
kids
I like that
love
place.
that too. They love that. That's fun.
Have y'all listened to Telepathy tapes yet?
Oh, Andy's
I was
dying
trying to
about
talk.
that.
Go ahead, because I was trying to tell
I love it.
Nana about it.
It is neat. Did you listen to it?
Damn.
Did
What
you
is
listen
it?
to
No, I was back there with Pete when he
It's
was
talking about how
it.
nonverbal or autistic
Autis-
kids are telepathic.
Like they communicate. They're
And
communicating.
like you've got to listen. Like there's a whole bunch of research that they've done on it.
But none of
mind-blowing.
it, the science community won't allow any of it.
What's it called? Telepathy.
Telepathy tapes. It's 10 episodes. So
Did
basically,
we listen to them all?
Is this on
What was-
Netflix or something? A show
It's a
or is it-
podcast.
It's a podcast,
Oh,
but
okay.
we think there's it's on YouTube,
Yeah.
like y'all do. Like
yeah. So I don't even know how this lady got started in her journey with this.
Guessing
she
she
doesn't
had
say
a
that in the
child.
first episode.
No,
'cause
she
I don't
doesn't
think
have-
I listened to the
She
first
doesn't have a
episode.
child, but
Teacher.
maybe she was. So anyway, they take these nonverbal autistic kids and they're all telepathic. They're all savants. They're all brilliant. And
Every one of them, or just a percentage of them?
Well,
You-
they
you
say
have to-
all of them are
but you have
the
to figure
nonverbal.
you have to figure out how to communicate with that kid.
Because they all have to communicate different. Like some of them, like to teach them how to do it, they have to like help. They need to be touched. They're not in tune with their body. That's why they say like most people think the autistic kids are idiots because they flap and they like this one kid when they were able to communicate with him, they realized that he said he's not aware that he even has a body. So that's why he couldn't communicate. So they taught them, they said it's extreme teaching, but to like, they'll give them like a letter board with, A, B, C, D, and they'll point to the letters to be able to type out. And some of them, they've even taught how to type.
Some of them have iPads that have like a voice with it, and it'll do like predictive text basically, and they can communicate that way. So they'll sit this autistic kid down, and so some of them can only communicate. Some of them can only read their mom's mind. Some of them can read everybody's mind. Some of them have a strong connection with their
This is the
teacher.
problem I have. The reading the mind part. I'm not anything else you've said. I agree with.
I'm about to tell you.
Okay, I just have a hard time
Well,
comprehending
you're
this.
gonna
let
have
him
to go listen
explain.
to
So
it.
they'll sit the kid down, and whoever they can communicate with. Most of this show has been the kid and a mom.
Well, hold
So-
on. First, let me back up and say one reason too, that's really important to say. One reason they have such a hard time communicating is because they're not in tune with their body. Like to say 3 words, to be able to point to 3 words is a massive task for them to do because they're not even in control of their body. So a lot of times they can't have like a big conversation with you because it takes a lot
Overwhelming.
out of them to even point to, a couple words.
Their body just overwhelms them.
So they would
Yes.
sit the kid down, and then they would have the mom across the way, and then they'd have like a big partition up, and they would show the mom like a 6-digit number.
And first, they'd also make sure there was nothing in the room with
Like no
reflections,
reflections or
no
anything like that.
reflections, no.
They'd put drapes all over everything. They'd give the mom like a 6-digit number on an iPad. She'd look at it, pop in her head, and then the kid on the other side of the partition would type out however it could communicate, some on a board, some on an iPad, whatever the number is.
It's absolutely amazing.
100% accuracy.
Every time.
They would show them like just a random word, medium. Show it to the mom, kid, medium.
They pulled
went-
out a Bible.
They went so far, yeah. They pulled out a King James version of the Bible. Mom flips to a random page, looks at the passage, and then the kid is telling what she's reading.
How old are these kids?
One of them was
20.
21.
Some of 'em are
one
younger.
lady, like it's a really heartbreaking story. She said that doctors had just told her, like, your kid's not there. Just come to terms with it. Your kid is not there. It's not a person, it is what it is. She wasn't able to communicate with him till he was 21 years old.
But she figured out however that kid could communicate via iPad or however it was.
They can't just pick up an iPad and start communicating.
Right.
They have to go
Right.
through
Oh, yeah.
a teaching to teach this kid how to communicate.
What letters are even?
And she
no, they
said,
said the
they
kid
all
said
have-
that we know what letters are.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you think
Because
that
they had probably been through a school system of sorts,
Right.
and the
And they-
school
but
system
they-
gave up on them.
Yeah, they all teach them like they're idiots,
Right.
which I told Andy, I'm not faulting that either because
No.
when you aren't aware of when you're in a normal mainstream school that doesn't have the teachings
The
to
resources.
teach
And especially the
or
fact
even
that-
the idea
Right.
that there is a way to
and
teach
they're
them
all,
to communicate.
just like every person. These people's learning styles are way out there. I mean, imagine trying to tap into, quote, regular kids' learning styles.
you
And
think you think Helen Keller? She was a deaf mute, so she was deaf for sure. But do you think maybe she was autistic, like nonverbal?
I think she was just deaf and couldn't ever hear what she needed to do. I think. But they all talk about, so she interviews people from all across the country and like even in different countries. And every single one of the couples or whatever that she interviews, all the autistic kids talk about going to a place called The Hill. And that's where they tune in with other autistic kids and they all teach each other. Like one autistic kid was fluent in 6 different languages.
It's part Pete.
By the time they were able to communicate with their kid, they're like
one of them knew
6 languages.
One of them knew hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just languages that this kid should not know and has never been introduced to. But they all say, every one of them says, we go to a place called The Hill and we all can communicate with each other and transfer knowledge this way.
Are all autistic people there or just certain ones?
Just nonverbal, they say.
Nonverbal?
They said some of them, even if they are a little verbal, can.
I'm going to have me something. I'm going to do some research on.
And
So
they
it's
say,
neat.
but they say like the reason that a lot of autistic kids have trouble in crowded places is because they can hear
Loud.
everybody's
They're
thoughts.
Yes, it's
So it
overwhelming
just
because they
freaks them
can.
out. They don't
Sure.
like when it's just a home setting and everything is as it should be, and they're only hearing like one mom was like, "I can't hide anything from this kid. This kid
That's
knew
how
what I
she figured
did
it out.
all day long."
Yeah.
Like I went to the grocery store and got the kid's favorite snack, and the kid's
And
like
left them in the car on an accident.
Like,
and
yeah,
then the
you
kid
left
was
that-
like, "Where's my oatmeal cookies?"
freaking out, and the mom's like, "How did you even know?"
No, it wasn't a mom. It was a teacher.
Santa was
it was
not-
a teacher. That one
Yeah.
happened with.
because the teacher was like a treat for them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the
Imagine some
kid's
hot
like-
chick walks by and all the guys are like,
Dad, you're not supposed to be thinking that. I'm
unpure
telling
thoughts.
mom, woman,
Very
you don't know
fine
me.
line between an idiot
Oh,
and
yeah.
a genius.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've
It
found that
really
already.
makes you sad to think
Mm-hmm.
that these are, they're people regardless of one or
Right.
the other, but that
To
they're
not be
being
able
treated
to-
like idiots.
And that
because
they
there
have
aren't
to
the
be-
resources that this lady's trying to bring to life, that like, hey, all these kids need these
Can you
resources.
imagine
And the science community,
suicide?
the science community doing everything to like discredit everything she's
Of
done,
course.
and
'Cause
Can
they
you
can't
imagine
scope 'em
your
up.
kid being 21 years old and you've
Had
treated
stuff
them like
to
they weren't
say.
even a person there? And I don't know that they have,
Right.
but everyone said this person. Well, the mom goes to say that this 21-year-old, once they finally were able to communicate, tells her of it seemed like a molestation situation that this kid knew about
to a sister or something like that.
and wanted to tell and couldn't tell.
You know,
And so that person probably took advantage of that. Like, oh, he's just the dummy in
Right.
the corner. He's not going to say anything.
the science community to press this down and not get it as crazy.
it's the pharma
because
community.
The one of the big things our government uses is remote viewing.
What do you mean
Stuff.
remote view? Like turn on my
No,
laptop camera?
no. It's like you can see what's going on in other places. Our government and Russia's government both use it. Remote viewing, you can look it up.
What do you
they
mean?
They
Almost-
can see what is going on 100 miles away and the way things
Not
happen.
like a time travel, but
I mean, it's called remote viewing. You can see things. That's how they use a lot of. It's you just have to look it up.
Understanding the science behind remote viewing. Once this ad plays, I can put it on the screen.
Remote viewing is the ability to perceive details of a location or an activity that is otherwise shielded to you by it being distant or it being remote in time or space.
What makes remote viewing unique and testable?
Remote viewing is done under controlled conditions. The person who's doing the viewing is blind to the nature of what they're looking at. And it's important that there be an actual thing that you are viewing, and so you need to be able to get
Is this
feedback at the end.
close to the right video?
Loop
Well, it's
closure,
just part of it. This
Do you
is
get
what it's
visions,
about.
or how does the information come
that?
in?
It's more of a general perception that's happening. You're getting all sorts of different kinds of detail about the location or the thing that you're looking at. It's not coming in a nice, clean, orderly, visual way.
Is remote viewing an extra sense?
It is a sense that every human being has to varying degrees. The ability or the aptitude for it is distributed in the general population, probably something like musical inclination is. Some people can't play a violin to save their life. Other people, they're 4 years old and they're up on stage and they're blowing your mind.
I'm going to test John and see if he can remote view a location, and I've recruited a volunteer to help.
So I'm going to be trying to do a remote viewing session today, and when you get there, if you could just try to experience that location as fully as possible, walk around, look at things,
Pause it a
touch
minute.
things, listen to things, pay attention to detail.
I thought you were basically talking about like there's cameras set up where you can
No.
tune in
There's
and see.
people that can tune in to whatever's going on.
it's a mind.
Oh.
Russia
Well, I mean, that's
and the U.S.
basically what this
spies
is.
both do this. I mean, this is something that we kind of pushed off for years, but in the 40s and 50s, they figured this stuff out.
That's crazy.
And they used it during World War II some, but they don't want to talk about it. But there's a very select few people that are in the military that they use this for.
Yeah.
And they've got that keen sixth sense of type stuff.
Why is that guy wearing black stuff? Because he can do it, and they don't want
he's
his
fixing to remote
identity.
view. I don't know about that. They're fixing to do a remote view here.
By who? The guy in the black?
Yeah.
And people don't want him to know who he is.
No, that the guy in the black is going to do the remote viewing. This guy's going to tell him a place, and
The guy in the plaid is going to go to a place.
Well, just watch this, and it'll explain to you.
That are especially interesting.
I've never seen this video,
and we'll see how it goes.
Neither John, the volunteer, or myself have any idea where we are going. 3 distinct locations with recognizable landmarks were chosen and photographed. The 3 photos, along with written descriptions, were then placed into sealed envelopes. After a brief meeting with John, we traveled to one of the locations. Again, none of us have any idea where we're going.
All right, so the target is Tachyon-Ian.
How are you feeling right now?
Kind of skeptical, to be honest with you. But I'm going to keep an open mind to it.
And we're going to declare.
What would you think if you were driving by and you saw the plaid guy and the guy in the biker's helmet just walking down the street? You're like, oh God, I'm about to
If
witness
you
a
are
murder.
in danger, blink real fast.
Which just means that some element of the target may contain predominantly water. Biological is looking at something. There's a sort of a degree of intensity of looking at a particular
the one that
thing for some
can...
length of time.
He's the
right
remote
now
viewer.
I see, I've got the skyline. See the waves of the lake coming in.
Descriptors related to the water are that it's energetic, it's propelled.
And if you listen carefully, you can hear the water hitting the rocks.
But hold on. Does he have to be with the guy in the black?
No. He's just tuned into. This guy is just an interviewer.
Yeah.
He's just part of Viceland that is facilitating the interview.
What if he's mic'd up under there?
Okay,
and the
but I
other
mean-
guy can
Right.
hear it.
No, you're 100% right. Like,
Yeah.
you have to take, you got to just believe that this is
We
on
got
the up and up.
trust.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with telepathy tapes is you're hearing everything in real time. Like, I don't think that there's a way, if the kid is in cahoot, if it's all a stage deal, I don't see how the kid could spit out 18 6-digit numbers.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
I mean, I don't, so like this, I mean, I agree with Jesse. Like, it seems a little bit like
Right.
there could be a little bit of
Especially with him
magic.
Finagling. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, yeah, it sounds basically like the same thing. But I never watched Stranger Things, but that's what I always go back to with these autistic kids.
Yes.
Did you watch
Wasn't
Stranger
it
Things?
I watched the
supposed to kinda-
first season of
She was
it.
kind of a mind reader.
Right.
Yep.
And the government. And I think that a couple parents have even said the same thing. Like, I've also got to keep this kid safe.
Our government is gotten into with the remote viewing,
Right.
and I'm going to bet you $5 that the government, if this telepathy stuff is on the up and up, and there's no reason to believe it's not, is not been facilitating some of that also. Because you could imagine mind reading if you had someone like in the background that was,
right.
at a big time negotiation process.
Murder trial.
One thing, because Dirk's the one that turned me on to it.
Yeah,
but-
it was Dirk.
But one thing that he said is like, what if this was the way that we were all supposed to communicate? And through years and years of just living life, ears and mouth
We got away from it.
took over.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have ears, we wouldn't know that sound existed. So, like, what other
Think back to the cavemen. They're always,
grunting? Well,
yeah,
that's just
like
maybe they were falling out of
That's
the
what-
mind reading,
that's
and they
what
were
I'm
trying to
saying.
figure out how
Yeah.
to
Relearn the language or
the tongue
make a
work.
language.
You do realize those are not real videos
I
of
know,
cavemen,
I
though,
know,
right?
I
Okay.
know.
We don't know how they communicated.
Yeah.
But that maybe early man before language was phasing,
I mean, because there had to be a
phasing
point.
out of that. But one lady on the last one made a really good point. She's like, it's not an effective way of being, because if you're in tune to everything,
Right.
you can't focus on one thing because it's just static at
You'd
some
almost
point.
have to live in a bubble.
So it's like you have to focus to do anything. And if you're in tune to everything at all times, you're paralyzed basically. So
Mm-hmm.
that way of being is not efficient to the human race, just because you got
Right.
it's your sensory overload all the time and you
Right.
can't move forward.
Sad
and that's
scary.
the problem with autistic kids. They're sensory overloaded all the time.
Right. but maybe that's how we communicated a long time ago. And then they bring up animals a lot of times. Like you watch birds in the air. Like how do they all know that they're going to make this big bank if there's not some form of nonverbal communication?
I always wondered about that myself.
Like,
Is it something
and I
in
think
the
they
air?
said like starlings or something like that. Like there'd just be this massive flocks, and then they'll just do this big.
I
this
always
big
thought there was
shimmer.
something like a turbine in the air or something like a shift in the air or something up there. That,
But there's got to be some form of communication for them to know, or dolphins swimming, or whales or whatever. Like they're all in perfect sync.
the lead whale.
This has nothing to do with telepathy or anything, but I'm trying to know how to word this without it sounding terrible.
Good.
But
This
no,
is going to be edited out. So go
no,
ahead
there won't
and
be no
say it.
editing. The coolest thing in the world is these people that's got Down syndrome kids. I watch the Baker banner, and that kid makes me laugh so hard. His parents are getting 30 or 40 years of having a 10-year-old kid in the house. It's very sad, and I don't mean it that way because it's a terrible thing. But there's nothing more innocent than a kid with Down syndrome.
It's a big burden for the parents, though.
That's what I
because
mean.
they
It's
realize that
forever.
when they go,
It's a lifetime.
that kid's life is going to be dramatically like poor kid's going to have to go to a home, and like they live their entire life
with the comfort
propping that
of
kid
their
up.
of their home and their family.
This kid that I follow on Instagram, Baker Banner, he's old enough he drinks beer with his dad. He'll have a beer in the backyard. They'll go to a restaurant. He'll have a beer, and his sisters are there, and so I'm assuming he's going to end up with his sisters, and then when something happens to the parents,
That's a burden.
It is, but.
I shouldn't say it like that. That's just a lot.
But it is a burden. I mean, we're being honest.
Yeah, that's what we don't
It's
want to
an
say.
undertaking.
Yeah, you said it kind of ugly, but
Yes.
you meant more like it's a mental burden to think about. Like,
I don't even want to say the word burden
No.
because
It's
that
just a
kid's
lot
not
of work.
A kid's not a burden.
No.
It's just
You know
a
what
lot
I
of
mean?
work and responsibility
That's
for
responsibility.
someone. But when I watch him on
lifetime
TV,
responsibility.
it makes me laugh because it reminds me of having a Reese's age where they're kind of a smart ass and they kind of get in things, but they don't. But I love the Instagram with him, and they take him to. He loves wrestling and just gets into it.
Innocent.
Is he the one that breaks the bottle in the pool?
No, not that one. But he goes to weightlifting. He does Special Olympics. He does all kinds of stuff. He's scared to death of his dad's a big hunter, and they had a bobcat brung in the house, and he's like, get that out of the house. But I really like him. But I watch all of his stuff, and he goes to baseball games and loves. It's when your kid gets to be that, y'all are fixing to go through this where y'all are going to lose Reese's innocence of being at the house. He's going to become a smart ass because that's the way teenagers are. Your parents went through it. We went through it. Y'all are going to go through it. They get to keep that for a long time. So it's selfish on the parents' end that is so nice, but it's also not fair to that kid to not get to go up and have a normal life. But I really enjoy the shit out of it. Him was up there north. I just saw him in Mingo Andy. He just went past him.
I wasn't looking for him. There's another kid with Down syndrome that I've seen on TikTok that's pretty funny. He wasn't the guy that breaks the beer bottles in the pool.
No. But I've seen that one before too. But it's Baker Banner, and I just really like this kid. This year's this funny.
That's not him.
No.
Holy shit!
Bottles right in the pool.
What is wrong with you?
I got Down syndrome. What are you talking about? What's wrong with me?
Someone dared me.
Look up Baker Banner.
You said that's on Insta?
Yeah, and I follow them, and I love his stuff. I laugh so hard, but he argues.
What is wrong with you?
But he's got a really good personality. But I always think, man, that would be, and it's sad to feel that way because I would never want that. But I also think, man, their parents are getting a lot of blessings that.
And a lot of worry.
What's the fun? I mean, which one's
just
funny?
all of. I mean, all of his stuff's funny. I don't know which one that one is.
You later, show me the stupid thing.
Read it.
Read what?
At the
It's
bottom.
fucking there.
It
says unblock caller. You had me blocked.
Oh, I think I have seen this kid.
You had me blocked. No wonder you weren't answering my phone call.
He does
You
get
unblock me?
pissed.
All the time.
Okay, first of all, that's not my fault. Secondly, I thought I got my friend's number.
You blocked me. You had me blocked.
He's never wrong ever.
Just forget it.
Let's just
So did you unblock me?
Is that his sister or mom?
That's his sister.
Even funner.
Like he's mad. One time Arby's is closed, and he wants to go. Because they have their things they do every day the same.
right.
Want to go to Arby's, and his mom goes, "Now, Dad said Arby's is closed. He's wrong." He's wrong. He's obviously wrong, Mom. Arby's is not closed. But he loves wrestling. I mean, just his dad's a big hunter and stuff, and I really enjoy the kid. But it makes me laugh. It's an innocent deal but it's
stuck in an innocent state.
Yes,
and that's perpetual innocence.
In this sick world we live in, that's a good deal. But he argues, and his sisters. He's got good sisters, and his aunt lives next door, and she's a nurse. And he thought he was. He's got an imaginary brother and sister.
He thought he was pregnant.
And his imaginary brother told him he was pregnant. So they went and got him a pregnancy test. His dad's like, you can't be pregnant. So they had to take a pregnancy test the other day.
You don't think the sisters screw with him a little bit?
No, she's
sometimes?
like, what do you do? No, he's got an imaginary sister. And he talks about them all the time.
Have you seen the ones where they put peanut butter on their hands and they have their Down syndrome brother hand them toilet paper?
I've seen regular people, not regular, that was awful to say, but I've seen that happen in...
But I this Baker Banner deal. I don't know. My Instagram's got such weird stuff on that. And I'm going to tell you right now, there ain't a fat son bitch in India. You want to know why? Because you're going to die from eating over there.
I've seen that one.
It's just food.
What's the problem?
He said he needed toilet paper.
Oh, and he put peanut butter on his arm.
Okay. I missed the first.
I think you showed me that one.
It's just poop.
He said that's just poop.
That reminds me of what Blake would do. Can you see Blake doing that?
Oh, yeah.
Let's play the...
He's chewing something, so...
He said it's just poop.
It's peanut butter. It's peanut butter.
Now the brother needs to come lick it off.
It's just peanut butter.
Have y'all seen the prank where you put peanut butter on your Q-tip? You pretend like you're wiping your ear, and then you put the peanut butter on the Q-tip, and your spouse comes in, and you're like, "Look at this," and they're like, "That's been in there 30 years," and you're like, and lick it.
Oh, but if you watch. So Indian food has come up on my Instagram lately, and I watch these people cook
Now
over there all the
come up
time.
on everyone's
I'm
phone.
telling you right now, if you eat street food in India, you're the bravest son of a bitch in the world, because
We're gonna have the runs.
everything starts out with 3 eggs and all kinds of spicy shit, and there ain't nobody using their hands for everything.
Using their hands
it's
or their
diarrhea
gloves?
written all. That's why there's not a fat person in India, because they all got the shits.
What was the halal?
That was a halal chicken in
Muslim.
New York. That was Muslim stuff.
Muslim
that
food.
But this
Spicy.
is street foods from India. Then it shows a guy, and he's paying $1. He walks around and he says namaste to all these people, which I think means hello or good day or some shit. And he pays $1 to get his ears cleaned on the street. This guy pulls out an ice pick and cleans this guy's ears. And I'm like, God. And he pulls
And
some
then he
shit
uses
out.
that ice pick on the next person
Yeah.
too.
On their
Oh, I'm
chicken.
sure, probably. But he pulls junk out of this guy's
Chicken, your
ear
mom said.
about this guy's ear. I was like, ugh.
Stirring the chicken with
That's
it later.
gross.
But I watched this. I watch
Peanut
this
sauce.
Indian food crap all the time, and I'm like, there is no way. Oh,
I couldn't do
Your
it.
Instagram and my Instagram's a lot different.
Jesse's got trips that she'll never go on. And
Yeah,
yours
Yeah,
and then
no, she's
Andy's
going
is,
now.
I'm not
because
going
he's
to
on-
India.
on drinks and food. He
Mine's
sends me all the
drinks
time.
and
Mainly
food.
drinks. He sends me tons of drinks.
Mine
Mine's-
used to be monkeys. My monkeys have not shown up.
yeah,
for
I
a long
missed all
time.
your monkey shit because that'd make me laugh.
Oh, I need to go. All I had to do is
I
search
saw
it.
a video the other day of a bunch of gorillas fighting in his zoo, and this lady's like, "Someone get in there and break them up."
Yeah, right.
That's what you're going to do is get in
Yeah.
the middle of a bunch
Get
of damn
yourself broken
gorillas.
up.
I don't know what a gorilla weighs. What they weigh? 300-400 pounds. Solid
know.
frickin' as a rock. You
They
ain't get in the
fight
middle
to
of them.
the end. What was that one show about the monkeys?
Oh,
Let them
Chimp-
go.
Chimp
Chimp
Empire.
Yeah, let them go. I saw the end.
I'm
I
never
saw the
gonna-
whole thing. No,
never
you're
gonna
not
find this video.
breaking up
trying
a
to find?
monkey fight.
The Down syndrome video of the kid that here it is. I think maybe. Yeah. They pretend that he's invisible.
Oh, that's
Anna, have you seen John?
terrible.
No, whipped cream. Big.
John!
Huh?
Going to hell for laughing.
Didn't say.
John!
Over here.
Over here.
Anna, have you seen John?
No, I don't know where he's at.
They're terrible.
Over here.
Over here.
that. He's like Amos on your lap.
How cute.
That's precious.
Oh, John's got to be about 50.
Yeah.
I'm right here. Can't you see me?
There's a ghost.
No.
There's a ghost.
No.
John, come get the ghost. John.
Who hit me?
Don't leave me. Is that what he said?
You hit me?
You hit me?
Hear me.
Oh.
He said, hear me.
Girl,
You hear me?
you see me?
Can you see me?
You see me?
John.
They are very effective. I would be laughing.
John's pissed.
They are laughing. They just.
Over here. Over here.
That's the kind of stuff that's the stuff I'm talking about.
Y'all are gonna go pull that on one of the kids.
He's famous. He's TikTok famous.
Who is he? My brother John.
Have y'all?
That's what the Baker guy was talking about when they was going to do away with TikTok. They did a big video on it because I don't watch him on TikTok. I'll see it on Instagram, but
Probably the same stuff. He posts TikToks on
Yeah.
Insta.
There was one that was.
and he's gotten to meet all the Jelly Roll was with Baker's banner.
It's not. You don't go to school till Friday. Today is
No, me.
Tuesday.
What?
Don't be ugly.
Naomi?
What?
F-E-D. Friday.
That's not how you spell Friday.
Hey, louder.
John, why are you so upset? It is not.
Friday.
It is not.
Yeah, Naomi.
It is not.
Telephone.
John, I did check my phone.
Friday.
It's
John, here,
Tuesday.
No, today's
Friday.
Wednesday. Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday?
Today's
Wednesday.
Anyway.
They
That's
didn't
John.
even know.
John-
I'm
John-
gonna have to follow him.
Baker Kid's got a lot more advanced than John is. I can tell by listening to John already because Baker Kid knew a lot of the, like he's more in tune with things. But you know, I'm blessed that we didn't.
They
have
don't
any
mess
of
with Baker maybe as much as they do John.
Poor
Obviously,
John.
that John's got getting the shits at the house, that being invisible. That's pretty funny.
that was great.
I'm right here.
Who can hear me?
Jesse, you never answered. What was your favorite part of hunting season when it ended? Who was your favorite guide?
You always ask me that, and I always tell you I can't say.
Why?
They're not your children.
Yeah.
So
You could have a favorite. You have a favorite kid.
They're not gonna pick out your rest of
that's easy. I mean, Blake's always going to be the favorite.
Oh, until Blake leaves.
them.
Yeah.
Until Emily gets knocked
What
out.
about after Blake? Who after Blake? Who's second favorite?
Well, like I said, like most of them definitely don't
Associate
communicate
with
with
us.
me for sure. Like you at least have them in the field and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't talk to me at all. Connor's probably the only one that talks to me.
And he's been here the longest, so he feels.
Yeah, so I mean, probably in 2 years, some of the others will talk to me.
Do you think that they'll ever not use your office as a lounge?
Just when I tell them not to.
Because
Did
that
this group get it better?
flies all
they're-
over you.
See, they're trying to communicate. They're trying to associate,
They're trying to
and
associate,
learn
and
and,
Jeff
talk,
kicks
and
them out.
Jeff
Runs them
kicks them
off.
out. So at supper,
Shame on you.
they're like, we're going to go talk to them.
I can't go in
Yeah.
there. It's not a lounge.
Blake and Happy are the two worst.
Give us a sign when
Happy
we can
come in
speak.
last year. I go, what are you doing? Well, come in here and see what's going on. I'm
He's
working.
trying. That's his. He's trying to.
form a
He might have
relationship
had
with
something
you.
he was
Yeah.
needing to say.
Oh, well, he
We
can
just-
talk to me. I love Happy to
What if
death. He's a
You
good,
ran
great
him out
kid.
of there. You
He
told him it wasn't a
probably had
lounge.
something on his mind
read-
that he could say only to you.
Do you run Andy out?
And Randy don't want to hang out in there.
Andy leaves.
Andy doesn't go
if
in
Andy
there
comes
on
in
his
there, he's
own?
just killing
If
10 or
Andy-
15
yeah.
minutes. He's got something else to do.
Andy's
Andy don't just
usually
come
right
in to
here.
visit. Blake comes in and lounges like it's his fucking bedroom.
Well, it's not very comfortable sitting in the dining room chairs
They
for
can go
hours.
to they've got a lounge over there they can use of their own. And I tell them
what
all the
if
time.
they're about to have to do something.
Well,
or
they
they're-
can go sit in the kitchen with you.
And they do.
That's what I said.
And I'm
They
happy
do.
with that.
I
Well,
don't run
It's
them
not
off.
very comfortable. Sometimes when I've been there for a long time, I'm like, I'm going to go sit in the office.
Me too.
where it's
Right.
comfy.
I've never
Does he
ran
run
you
you
off.
off?
No.
No, they come in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But at first, they're real leery. But
I run the
because
grandkids
you-
off sometimes. If I'm busy trying to do something and they're loud in there, I run them off too, just like I did my boys. I mean, it's my space. When I go to work, I run people off all the time. But yes, no, they'll always. And
Kids
I'm,
are never going to be able to get comfortable here.
well, that's
They'll
okay.
never be able to open up.
I don't need them to open up. We talk a lot.
I feel like the guides to me are kind of like breakups. I don't treat them very serious because, you know, in like 2 or 3 years, they're gonna
be gone.
Right.
Gone anyways.
We don't want to get too close.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to be
for
here
me
forever.
I treat them all the same, and I miss them when they're going to be gone because I know
But-
what's going to happen. But I get to be good friends with
But
them.
y'all have more time with them, like
I s-
quality time. I'm there at
Constant.
dinner when I'm
Yeah.
making my kids' plates, and
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with the guides because I do a lot of scouting with them, and I really enjoy them. I learn a lot of things. Definitely, there is some communication differences.
That's generation. That's
Blake-
because you run them out of the office.
Blake usually comes to our house a couple times. Did he even at all this year?
He did once the day he shot his deer.
Seemed like this season went by
Yeah, it
fast.
did.
We were busy.
We were
But-
busier.
Yeah,
We were busy
it
all
went-
year. I enjoy the guys a lot.
I do. And like I say, they'll come in the kitchen and they'll talk to me a lot. They'll open up.
the younger guys, I've get more where I
Very appreciative. They say thank you after every meal.
I can tell you right now that Bones
I like
is
him.
one of the most polite, hardworking young men I've
I
ever
liked
been around
him
in
a
my
lot.
entire life.
I was about to say, I not like Nolan. He talks to
Oh,
me.
yeah,
Nolan's a good kid. Nolan is one of my favorite guides I've ever had work here of all
Actually-
time. I really enjoy Nolan. I enjoy visiting with him. I learned a lot from Nolan because Nolan raised on the East Coast, hockey kid, sister's a pro golfer. I mean, I really enjoy talking to him about because it's different
West Coast,
things.
wasn't he?
East Coast, Boston.
Now,
Province.
one thing I'd like to put
thought
on
he
here
was up
because
there
I
with
think
the-
sometimes in the
Hey.
past when we've talked about that we like how people interact with our kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes people hear that and they come here and they like
Want to interact.
get our kids to be little shitheads, and I'm like, whoa, that's not the interaction I want.
Yeah.
That's not the interaction I'm looking for. I'm not looking for
Yeah.
you making my kids do things they shouldn't be doing
be a
because you think
jackass.
it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Because that has happened, and
The boys
that
love
makes me want to go home.
And then the kids get in trouble.
Exactly.
For
All-
just doing what somebody
And
said.
that's
told
why
them to
I
do.
will typically jump in and
Yeah.
say, just like with Amos, and I'll turn it on. You're riling him up. This is what you're gonna get from it.
Yeah.
But meaning it with kids. The one that visits with me the least is Snacks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he doesn't really talk.
He doesn't
to
stick around
me.
in the kitchen.
He talks.
because Andy told him how mean y'all are.
No, but he just now he almost seems kind of scared of me. I don't know.
Snacks talks a lot. Snacks
Yeah.
stayed in the kitchen quite a bit.
I mean, he
ate
visits
a
with
lot.
the people.
Wow,
but-
Michelle, that's a rumor about him being fat. God almighty.
He
Did you hear
was the
that?
one guy that would eat every
Whoa,
meal.
there you go,
just about.
Michelle. Damn.
That's not what I meant, and you know that. But he never really visited. You know what I'm saying? But now, Happy, he would come in.
I'm glad you did that, Andy. Cause
a lot of times. That
What's he doing? What are you
Getting
doing?
I got a picture.
Yeah, and I need
Was
to do
I
that.
looking at
because-
it or?
Nope. You were looking away.
But Connor would come in. He and Lexi would come in and visit a lot. Like Lexi, she's a visitor. I always feel sorry for her.
Why?
And that-
She likes what she does.
No. She's just.
I don't
in
know
a
that I can
man's
say.
world.
Probably my favorite was when we all went hunting at the end.
Boy, that was a flop.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a flop, but it was still fun to do together.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
for you.
it was a blast.
I didn't enjoy that. It was a lot of stress.
Well,
Yep.
I had
you
that.
were,
I
yeah,
needed to-
you were stressed because you thought we all needed to get something, but it was fun.
It was just
It
fun.
was fun, and the kids have fun, just like all your customers have said when they've had bad hunts and the kids are out there. They've said they've enjoyed it because of the kids.
Even when Jameson caught the cotton on fire.
Yeah. But the hunting had been good, so I thought that day was going to be good, and then it turned out not to be.
Man,
And it
why is that?
proved-
Huh?
Why was that?
Just one of them days.
Because
Not
I was,
about the
because
hunt.
I was there.
Oh.
You're bad luck on trips. I'm bad luck on hunts.
So
I-
puppy time.
I am.
Talk to us about that. What you got going?
I don't know. I need to
Lou point two,
Make the-
2.0.
get more serious about the search.
It's almost into February.
There's dogs everywhere.
Yeah,
Not
but
too worried about
the
it.
dog.
I think I know what's going on here.
What?
Oh, we
Andy's
discussed
Andy's
this.
enjoyed the rent a dog for this deal, and he wants to wait until next year and rent a dog one more year for 3 months.
No, we're not going to rent a dog another year. I'll have a puppy soon. I'll have a puppy soon.
When's our next show?
There's dogs everywhere.
Just gotta find. I told
not
him
hard.
I just don't want him to settle on something. He's got to find.
I'm not going to settle.
I'd wait till y'all get back from Costa Rica.
It's
No.
June.
That's in June.
I know. That way we don't have to keep a dog for 4 or 5 days.
Just book a trip. Book a trip for us.
Yeah, that.
It's already going to be a tight timeline for this dog to hunt this year. No, I say that. I'm only 2 weeks behind what we started with Lou. So even if it's Christmas or something, bring him out. I got time, but
Christmas.
Yeah, because I got Lou first week of February, and then we started training. I'm only 2 weeks behind the timeline of Lou.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get one right now.
Yeah, in the next couple of days.
Wow, we are moving fast.
Yeah. You got that working?
Jesse's
that
like,
quick?
what?
There's dogs everywhere that are ready to go home right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
We're
problem
going to
at
have
all.
a busy summer. We're going to have a puppy and a new house.
About like it was when we had Lou.
That's true. Just no Papa.
Exactly how it was when we had Lou. Bought a house, had a dog.
Because you can't send a dog to a kennel till they're 6 months old. To kennel.
Had to have all their shots.
To stay overnight, you mean?
What
Yeah,
are we going to do to Disney?
because of parvo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was parvo.
We're real screwed.
That's what they told us
Your
with
parents.
with Amos Moses.
They're your parents.
No, that's the one thing they'll say no on.
What are we going to do then?
Will Lexi still
we
be
had
here?
Jessica
No,
keep
Jessica.
Amos.
Yeah, Jessica kept Amos when he was a
Maybe
puppy.
her. Oh, Ellen. Ellen tells me all the time she would keep. She used to tell me that about Lou.
Who?
Donna.
Ellen.
I don't know who Ellen is, I guess.
You don't know her. She's one of my customers.
Oh.
She's really sweet.
She would watch a dog?
Yeah,
A puppy?
she shelters all the.
Oh.
She finds. She's the one I told you that might have ended up with Boudreaux.
Oh.
We always say that because she lives somewhere close to Larragatzee. I mean, close-ish.
Huh.
In the country.
Does she have a black lab that's like 90?
She had a black lab at one point, so I'm like, oh, I hope you.
How'd you find this dog?
She finds anytime she
Everywhere.
finds a
Yeah, they told.
abandoned or a stray or she
Well, that
takes them
makes me
in.
happier that Boudreaux might have.
I'd called about Amos when we went to we went somewhere up
Northeast.
fall, and I asked, and she's like, I do not like to keep one that's not 6 months old. She goes, it just worries me.
Yeah.
No, it was when we went to Maine.
I said
And-
Northeast.
Yeah, it was when we went to Maine in the summer. And she said, I just do not, because 6 months are so susceptible to getting parvo and stuff. And so we didn't do that. And that's when I had Jessica kept him when we went there. So that's the only thing you got to worry about.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking out of turn here. But you'll find someone that can, like, I think Jessica probably wouldn't mind.
I'm
I
not.
was gonna say Eric and Caitlin might would, but I don't know. Howarth might would.
That's probably your idiots.
That's a
I mean, your
lot of
friends
work.
that would.
I know.
That's a lot of work. Well, I'll tell you
A
what.
lot of work.
We
It
kept.
depends on how trained we can get
that's a
him by
baby.
then.
You know,
Depends on how trained.
That's a toddler.
There is no training at that time. We kept Lubert when y'all
I
went
just
skiing.
mean like
and
if
how old
they're
was
not
Lou? 12 weeks
hidden
old.
in the house and
How old was Lou? About 12 weeks old when y'all went skiing.
No.
no less than that. He
Yeah.
would have been.
He stayed with us.
Like a month.
He got
Well, we
in.
got him at
not.
8. I got him at 8 weeks. He was 2 months. 10 weeks. Yeah, you're probably right. 10, 11, 12 months.
Let me tell you
weeks.
something.
Well, we're gonna be getting a 2-month-old dog too. When we
His hard headedness showed when y'all went skiing that time. He got into everything. Oh, he got
chewed
into
up
everything.
something. He chewed up
played
a
into
charger
everything. He
or
was just
something. I
a
don't
puppy,
remember what.
but I mean, he had a lot of go to him. He was.
It's going to be interesting to see how involved the boys really are.
They
Because
think-
they're all about it right now,
I think
but they've
Reese will
not.
be.
Because they're
Reese will
used
be.
to an old dog.
Yeah.
And that's the way with Ollie. Everyone.
Did you not see? I mean, Thunder was more playful than Lou was, and Reese ate it up.
Thunder didn't have to get let out every 2 hours. He didn't.
Well,
other
that's
than
true, but
bringing Jameson's slipper, he didn't chew on anything. Food, he didn't
just
mess with any
mean,
food
like,
that got left out.
playing with him and
Now,
stuff,
Lou.
they'll do that.
Totally different story with Lou.
Well, I just hope you get a dog that is half of what Lou was.
Jameson has Bingo and Bluey slippers, house slippers. One's orange, one's blue. Thunder would only go and get the orange one.
That's funny.
He would go into his room, pick it up, and then he'd take it to his bed and then lay down with it. Never chew on it. He just had it
one
there.
sleep
Just
on
laid
it.
it.
The
It was
smell.
like his little stuffed animal.
And he got the same one every time. Lights could be turned. It could be totally dark in the house. One day when we were getting ready to go, and I heard him walk away, and it wasn't uncommon. A lot of times he would go in our bedroom and sleep on the floor until
Get
we had
away.
to leave. So he left, and I was like, well, I guess I'll go get him in the bed before we leave, bedroom. And then I hear that clip, real fast feet, and I'm like, he got something. And it was Jameson's slipper. And
The same one.
same one. Laid down with it, set it down.
Think
He
he's
was fine.
autistic?
But remember,
He's definitely autistic.
At Steve's, he said he's got. Remember that little
Just one
lamb?
little toy.
The lamb. It's a little stuffed animal.
It was a blessing for that dog to get us spend a year with y'all hunting.
Oh yeah,
It
was a good
was.
thing.
He got
Good dog.
active.
And the
Especially
kids loved
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Loved
He was chill.
him.
He'll
He
be
was a
back
good dog.
next year.
He was a really good dog.
Jeff swears he's
somebody.
going to be the rent-a-dog next year.
Yep.
Well, someone.
Maybe for somebody.
Someone will use him.
I don't know. Steve's kind of selective about who he
picky.
lets.
He didn't mind Blake.
Thunder.
Well,
Reese said, "Poor Thunder, he's got to go back with Steve." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You think Steve has this much fun with him?"
Mm-hmm.
well, is it the neighbor here or was that?
There was
their
a neighbor
house
at the
too?
old house that he would bark and go outside, and she'd go over at 4 a.m. and
He
throw
got
a bone
snacks
over the.
from her, the neighbor, and from Steve and them. He had a rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, at 4 o'clock in the morning, would bark until the
was-
lady next door would bring a snack at 4 a.m. I'd be like, "Put your fucking dog up."
Maybe she's up at 4 a.m.
She was, but when Steve gets up at 2:30 or 3
Somehow they got
o'clock.
this started.
And yeah, that's what gets me. What got it started? But at 4 a.m, she'd walk out and take him a snack. And he said every day he'd go to the gate and wait on her.
So Steve's shoulder surgery when?
Sometime
he's
coming
coming
up next
turkey
month
hunting, isn't he?
in March. Yes.
Isn't he turkey hunting?
That was another thing in telepathy tapes because they talk about how dogs they can tell time.
Oh,
So dogs they think they're telepathic. So what they would do an experiment. They
We
would
got
have
two.
they would have a camera set up in the house, and then the dog would get real antsy. So the person would they'd get in their car and they'd go home. They'd start driving home and they would watch, and the dog would get real antsy, and then they would like stage a phone call. Got to go back to work. So they would go back to work, and at the same time that they turn their car around, the dog
settles
down, goes to bed.
Knew Daddy wasn't
Just
coming.
lays back down.
Huh.
No, I got one for sure.
Well,
That's that
we've
way.
got.
He's
I
a
mean,
time
they
teller
know
and a
meal
half.
time.
But they can definitely tell time.
They start getting real crazy.
5:50,
right
boy.
right before 6. They'll both be from sound sleep to right at that door.
Yeah.
Go into that food cabinet at 5:50. And
But some of
sometimes
that's
I'm like,
probably.
I just figured it was just hunger pains.
That's
I mean, it's
true.
6 o'clock.
I'm just hungry.
I'm having a hunger
hungry.
pain right now.
Yeah, I am too.
hungry.
All right, let's get out of here.
Get
Thank
outta
you.
here.
God bless y'all. Tomorrow, we got the coyote man, Clay Reed being deal. Be a little different kind of conversations, probably. Thank you. God bless y'all. Have a great week.
Good morning.
Check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Boss Shot Shell Specific Calls. Use our promo code BHP25. It's time for turkey season. Start buying those. Dive Bomb Industries, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, MLR Graphics, Stanfield Outfitters, Hemp Hill Farm, promo code BHP, Mallard Bay, and Mitch Hall Chevrolet.